To celebrate 3 years on YouTube and as a push to reach 1,000 subscribers, I've got 2 giveaways. The first giveaway is a commemorative plate from Franklin Mint of John Wayne, the Duke. And the second giveaway is a figure of Bebop from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. To win any of these 2, just put in any of my videos, put a comment with either hashtag the Duke or hashtag Bebop. The draw will be done once I've reached 1,000 subscribers, so good luck, and remember, I'm not old, I'm classic. Yay! I'm still pushing. Get in there. I'm at 710.
No, it says 712.
Nice. Good climb, though, dude. Good climb.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's climbing. It's climbing.
Much better than 666.
It's 711 on mine, so yeah, getting there. So, I just thought I would actually do it. So, yay!
Woohoo!
God save the king and all that.
Yep.
And welcome to a new member of the chat, Mrs. Cannoli Sasquatch. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, hello.
Yay!
Yes, love Mrs. Cannoli Sasquatch. She was one of
Mr. Cannoli Sasquatch.
my buddies in Las
Hey,
Vegas.
Miranda.
Hey, Miranda.
Sure, I've seen some of you people for a little while ago
Love
this
it.
evening.
Hey, you guys.
Yeah, she's a rock star, man.
See, you've obviously not got a "Hey, you guys."
Yeah, that's from the Goonies.
Not that I've practiced that for some reason. But I
Hey,
don't know
it's
why.
Courtney's Fellowship of Oddballs. Welcome. Welcome, Peter.
Yeah.
BJ, you're a little hard to hear.
Hey,
Is that
Cannoli
better?
Sasquatch.
Much better.
Volume.
Actually, I prefer it when he's harder to hear.
Hey, I'm going to just sit like this the whole night. Hello.
Damn it.
Hello, boys and girls.
I can mute you.
I will mute you if you do not watch.
Okay,
That
so
got so weird so
Roman
fast.
likes to live dangerously.
whereas me, I just like to live.
What was
Always a good plan. Always a good plan.
Sorry, is the sound still bad?
Actually, it just sounds real low.
that? Yeah, there's very little volume. You sound like you're miles away.
Right, I'll like that until I get my sound. It's because I was actually on last night, and
Oh no.
Sorry.
What, you were using my internet?
Yeah. Edit.
Yeah, don't hack into Colin's internet. Of all the
Yeah,
internets
exactly.
to get, the
Come
one
on.
from 1356 is not the one.
It
Yeah.
wasn't so good back then, yeah.
Yeah, no, that was not.
I know what the problem is. It's because I was messing around yesterday because we were meant to be streaming last night, and I think I turned my volume all the way down.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Also,
It's because I was yeah.
1356.
We were meant to be streaming.
DJ.
Yeah, most people actually prefer it when they can't hear me as
Yeah,
Roman.
it's-
So helpfully, he gets a blue check mark, and suddenly he's the man.
Well, I mean, I don't know what to do with this.
I know
So-
it sounds. I must admit that is a beautiful backdrop you've got. I just love
You know,
it.
we've been having some construction done, and I took a wrong turn in the house today, and I ended up here. And now I don't know. I don't know what to do. The lads have been scratching at me. Mrs. Maybe was very frightened. There is a lot going on with this.
And the only
I told
difference
you
was
before,
that he's a better cook.
you shouldn't have turned. You should have taken that left turn.
Cucamonga.
Yeah.
No, I messed up. I messed up.
You should have taken the left turn at Albuquerque.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
instead of the turn up to Mukti.
Left turn at Albuquerque.
not a
And,
left.
and again, I don't have my dictionary with me, so this is all the more harrowing experience.
Backdrop you've got. I
You
love
should go
that.
it out.
backdrop. It's definitely an improvement since the last time.
It would almost have to be. It would almost have to be. Yeah. See, like I said, there's a lot of construction going on. The crew is actually going to be back tomorrow on a Sunday to destroy more of my patio and put in a drain system. Cannoli. I love that man. He's a giant, huge, bulging man.
I saw the pictures.
So they're going to put in a drain tomorrow, and they're going to fix the paver work that has been ripped up since they put in other posts and things, and then it's expensive, is what it is.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's
Oh,
fine.
oh,
Everything's
and
fine.
if Zach appears, Susie is a great movie. Well recommended.
Oh, that was a great. Because I've seen the previews, and I really wasn't sure the story there. Wookie. His review of it made it all the more appealing. I mean, it looks fantastic.
He only had 3 criticisms: the Wonder Woman bit, the bit with the heavy machine gun, and the crash at the end. That was it. It was fun, but the bit where he's standing like that with the bit it was like a Wonder Woman bit. You're sitting there thinking, it's amazing how none of the bullets are going low.
Really, to shoot his legs out, man. So how long is that film? Do you know?
I think it's around 40.
So it's not like a marathon movie like all the other modern films feel the need to be.
Like Titanic, which took longer than the boat did to sink.
Yeah, an hour and 20, an hour and 30.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
It's
I can do that
not
in
bad
my sleep.
Yeah.
Hour and a half isn't bad for a movie.
I fair enjoyed it. I've watched 2 movies this weekend and I've enjoyed both of them.
Wow, that's a lot.
John Wick.
Oh, yeah,
4
you said you saw John Wick.
and Susie, and I loved Susie. That was just the fact that he only speaks at the end. That is it. A whole movie without saying anything.
That's a lot of killing for one weekend, PJ.
Yeah.
For a man who doesn't like dark, you have a body count of like 3,000 for your film watching this weekend.
I've only got one
I'm
criticism of John Wick as well.
It's a certain kind of dark, you gotta.
I guess so.
It's an out there dark. The only one about John Wick was the fact is that it was the dog, but it was almost a case of really we knew what he was going to do before he did it. When he's got the guy in his sights and he sees the other guy picks up the gun to shoot the dog and he shoots the guy.
Shooting dogs.
But you knew that was going to happen because
Don't be shooting the dog.
And John Wick was in it, and the dog
I'm
was the
fighting
guy's
words.
companion who was attacking people. You knew if somebody was going to shoot it, he was going to intervene. And so it was telegraphed. But that was the part where they took their jackets off and you can hear the bullets all falling out. And I'm sitting there thinking, they get hit with so many bullets. Yeah, they were doing that as if it was a shield. They were putting their jackets up because they were Kevlar. And it's meant to be stopping all these bullets. Whereas the bullet would have hit it, even if it didn't go through it, it would still hit it and it flew up and all the other bullets.
Gravity, the force of momentum from the bullet, will move the code. It's not made of steel. I haven't seen 3.
I still enjoyed it. I still really enjoyed it, but it's chapter 4. And it's the final.
This is what happens when you're villains of the A-Team.
Yes.
Million rounds of ammunition an episode and not one hit. They might take out an occasional tire,
True.
But I must admit, I did enjoy both of those movies. They were fun.
Did anybody catch Guardians? Or are you all like me right now?
Peter's seen it. Peter Harrington's seen it.
Oh yeah, I saw Peter Harrington has seen Guardians. It was fun. I've heard generally good things about it.
I didn't catch it. I didn't catch you had the inoculation against it, fortunately. It's called having missed all the other Marvel movies.
No, well, I'm not lumping this in with the rest of the whatever phase we're in movies, because it's kind of not. This is the closeout of the Guardians trilogy, so it's a whole difference. It's the vibe you get from even just the advertisements is not the same as you've gotten from the I don't care about this Marvel movie, which has been all the other Marvel movies that have come out since Endgame, essentially. I feel so trapped here, PJ. It's like a mirror universe, PJ.
Obviously, we get the good looking ones over here.
You need the multiverse of
madness. So I'm going to see it. I don't know if I'm going to actually get to the theater to see it because I've already missed opening weekend. And in our world, if I don't hit it on opening weekend, there's almost no point in me seeing it in the theater at all. I was going to say the Batman movie, but the Flash, which is basically the Batman movie, 2 hours and 40 minutes for Guardians.
Ooh, that's a haul.
Ooh. Well, that's kind of standard Marvel fare these days. I don't think the other ones were that long, though. I think
my
one
old
and
lady
two
bladder could
clocked
take
in
Yeah,
a lot
did you
shorter.
see? I saw a couple of reviews of it. I saw Az's review and I saw someone else's. They were all saying it was an okay movie. There was some good bits, some bad bits, but they felt as if it was a 3-hour movie and they cut bits out because there was things happening and you're sitting there thinking, was that meant to be a big emotional bat? But there was nothing that led up to it.
I've heard that. Yeah.
It's almost like as if they cut bits out. So, but I haven't seen it. That's not something I never liked the first Guardian movie, or so I've not even bothered about the second one, and the third one just doesn't interest me.
No, I enjoyed them. Now I have heard people say that they liked this better than part 2, but I mean, these are of course all subjective tastes when you come to these things anyway. So I like I said, I'm still looking forward to it. Did you guys see the Dune Part 2 trailer though? Wow,
No, I haven't seen that.
It looks fantastic. But I have to throw the but in there. They really show you way too much. So they blow this scene for you, and it's like, I mean, if you've seen Dune or read the book, you know this is coming anyway. But to see it, and it looks spectacular though. I'm actually hyped about Dune. I care about that movie where Guardians of I want to see it. And then the not Batman movie, The Flash. I'm going to go see that as well. And I know I hate myself for doing it. I feel a little bit dirty, but I am just really curious about the Batman bits. I mean, and that's the stuff we're all going to be talking about when the stupid thing comes out. The stupid thing.
I saw the trailer for The Flash, and I must admit I agreed with everybody who said that was a Batman trailer.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. It's not
watching the Flash trailer, and it's all about Batman, and you're sitting there thinking, "Yeah, surprise."
Well, that's because they couldn't, based on Ezra Miller, the lunatic. You can't make him your feature in the ad for the movie because he's baggage. And there's 2 of them in the movie, which is 2 Ezra Millers too many.
Did they have to make it a multiverse movie so they can actually try and find which universe Ezra Miller's in at any one moment?
Well, maybe they're trying to find the one where he hasn't committed a bunch of crimes. We'd like that Ezra Miller. We'd like that one, please.
I understand he's a multi-dimensional entity.
Well, he's
certainly an entity.
Something.
But I think I will wait until I can get Dune 1 and 2 together. I had no interest in watching a half of a movie, so I never watched Dune Part 1.
I wanted to see if Part 2 was going to be worth it, and it is. I mean, Part 1 I enjoyed a lot, and so the worst part about Part 1, and this is a non-spoiler thing, is Jason Momoa. Jason Momoa is playing Jason Momoa. That's which is pretty much what he is in all the movies. He doesn't really have a lot of range. In everything except for Game of Thrones, maybe, and then he was Dothraki, and you couldn't understand what he was saying anyway. But no, like as Aquaman, he's Jason Momoa. That's just like he's like so many actors. I mean, Ryan Reynolds is kind of the same way. Ryan Reynolds is pretty much just playing Ryan Reynolds and everything.
Yes, definitely.
But I like him a lot more. He's a lot more bubbly.
I like Ryan Reynolds. Yeah,
Jack Nicholson played Jack Nicholson and everything.
Same thing.
Yes.
So yeah.
So he was my least favorite part of Dune Part 1. But Part 2 looks, like I said, it looks really, really cool.
Yeah.
So Sisu.
No, Susi.
What?
SISU. Sisu. You're right. I thought it was Susi as in SUSI, but it's not.
I watched Zax's, what you were just talking about. I watched Zax's little bit on it. I was just amazed at how little it cost to make this movie. in relative terms to Hollywood's, big budget features that fail miserably. This is, I mean, what you would consider this a relatively small budget film.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what do you say? It was like 6 million euros, 10 million euros,
Something like that. Well, you think about it, they had a tank, 2 trucks, bike, and motorcycle and sidecar. So you had the extras, which most of the extras just sat in the truck. And then you had the girls, and then the parts of the plane, the 2 planes. So in effect, that was the whole. It was everybody in it. So it's not.
Yeah, you don't have any big names in it. At least no one.
Yeah.
No one that I know. Maybe Jim the Viking knows who the dude is, but I don't know who the guy was.
Yeah, and also there was no big sets. It was just flat ground with a tank driving, and it was, considering how much they spent in it, it was so good. And considering you had the main actor in it, who only said a bit at the end, the whole movie, nothing.
That's crazy, man. So yeah, and so but the Germans speak English, the Finnish people speak English. The only person that doesn't speak English is the dude.
There are even the Russians at the end.
The Russians also speak English. So, where was this movie? Was this movie made in?
I think
Finland? Is it a Finnish movie?
Yeah, it's a Finnish movie, so it is weird in that respect, but it's just so well done. I loved it. I must admit. I'd seen a trailer for it somewhere, and I thought it's going to be one of these typical look at the bad guys, and the trailer didn't actually give how brutal it was, but it also didn't give how entertaining it was. So when I saw Zach's review of it, I thought, I need to give that another look. See, and I must admit, I was so happy that I did. I enjoyed it better than I did John Wick. I enjoyed it better than John Wick.
Also, me getting out this week to see anything maybe is just compromised because I am trapped here in the Maybe Studios, which is a little. It's disturbing. It's like a Twilight Zone episode. I just can't find my way out now.
Doors locked.
Is that what it is? Did she lock it from the outside again?
Yes.
I mean, the version of Mrs. Maybe that I have in my multiverse. She doesn't sound like Marge Simpson though, like Mrs. of the Empire does, which is a little weird.
No, I'm not even allowed to actually go down that route.
So so
do you know what I can hear right at this moment? God save the king. He's obviously watching the coronation again.
So anyway, I am actually trapped this week. Hopefully everything gets actually even if they finish this week, it's not done. I still have to have another guy come and do other things from I'm in hell. It's fine. So I did not myself watch the coronation. Is that still actually going on right now? Is it like a 17-hour thing?
Julie's delirious now.
It's basically the coronation has ended, but the partying is still continuing, and you will see the reruns, as it were, of the significant parts for a day or two to come. So you will.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm I want to say I'm mildly interested, but I'm not even mildly interested. I know that's terrible. And no offense is meant by that. It's just I don't care about Charles. I think Charles is a tool.
I'm with you. But
yeah, as I said before, I was a good Queensman, but I'm definitely not a Kingsman.
No, and we talked about this before. Fair. And I know he's probably not allowed to or whatever. If they'd done the jump, and
they can't do it, so.
But because I don't care. I just don't care. I don't care.
See, whereas me, I think the monarchy, based on history, should be a matriarchal. one.
The best monarchs have been queens.
Yes, that's what I mean. And the
Mhm.
next one
Between
would have been,
Elizabeth
if
and
it was
Victoria.
Princess Anne, it would have
Oh,
been
Princess
very
Anne.
Weird.
popular.
I
Love.
guess because we've had the Queen for so long,
Oh,
it
yeah.
just
Yeah.
it just feels like trying to put a round peg in a square hole. All of a sudden, it's like, what? No, I can't. No, that's not working.
With Princess Anne, did any of you see the feather in her hat?
No.
You know,
She was wearing, a navy hat, and it was
Was
this
she in
very
uniform?
large red feather. And you know who was sitting directly behind her?
Satan.
Close.
close.
Harry,
It's her husband.
Prince Harry was sitting directly behind her, and you couldn't see him because of the feather.
Did
Well, he
any-
wants his privacy, Julie. He wants his privacy.
The feather was
It was the
CG.
coronation equivalent of the candle from the funeral. It was brilliant.
I've not seen it, but I understand.
The feather was CGI'd in.
No,
So,
But Darren,
he had
Darren-
the
That would
That
have been,
was
that would have been even
CGI
better.
feather.
hilarious.
Darren's got something funny.
Yeah.
They need to make that.
Oh, here it is, right here. Hold on. I will put a link. I cannot make links, so y'all are just gonna have to copy and paste it. Here it is.
Peter, yeah. I very much doubt it, but you never know.
Yeah, do you know what the cafe up the road from us, their most popular dish was today? Coronation chicken.
I heard that.
Wah, wah,
What
wah,
is coronation
I know.
also?
Say that again?
Coronation quiche.
I've never
Oh
heard
my
of
God,
that.
that's hilarious. So it's funny when you go to Google, all you have to when you type in coronation feather, and it comes up.
Oh yeah,
Here.
it's hilarious.
I'll share my screen.
Trending. It's
BJ.
trending on Twitter.
Oh my goodness.
As
Share
is
screen. Share
the
screen.
holy hand grenade.
Share
Still
screen.
one of
There
those.
we are.
The holy hand
Antioch.
grenade is trending
I-
on Twitter.
I understand we were also honoured by the laird of the latest Scottish
There we go.
clan, the Clan McYusuf.
Look at that. What a dope.
Oh dear, dear, dear.
He's just
Well, at
turning
least
around
he's-
and saying, "She let me come."
I was going to say, at least his husband wasn't here.
Yeah. The other half, the other half of the
husband
privacy
wasn't allowed.
duo. I guess she
Yeah.
really wanted her privacy. I don't know.
Where
So who is
what happened
that
with
sitting in front of the
Yeah.
dunderhead?
Agreed,
That's
Darren.
Her Royal Highness Princess Anne.
The Princess Royal.
Princess Anne.
So that's
where does
Charles's-
Anne fall out in the?
She's badass. I love
Way
her.
down there. The woman's a badass, but she's way down in the line of succession.
She was second.
She's
Okay.
basically
Who's
she's
second
the
born?
brother. Charles is her brother.
Oh, okay. Oh, she's okay.
She comes birth-wise. She comes between Charles and
Andrew.
Andrew. Thank you. I've forgotten his name. But succession-wise, she comes after.
The corgis.
I'm not sure. Probably just about. Probably just about. I'm just trying to think how it goes. It's going to go. It'll go Williams mob. You go Williams kids. Then, at the moment, Williams kids. Then Harry. Then I don't know if Harry's kids count or not.
They
Then
do.
Edward. Then Edward's kids.
Wow.
And it's all
Yeah, it's
her-
pretty
the
much a
base-
traffic jam, really.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
basically it's the typical male. It goes down the male side.
It
Where
doesn't.
considering the two most successful monarchs in the last 300 years have been queens.
It
And
doesn't.
actually, you could go back a long time, and even with Elizabeth I,
Yeah,
there was
I was going to
the
say.
females have been more successful and more loved.
I was going to say it goes down, but now. See, I'm not. In,
Yeah, they meant to have changed it, so it's just basically based on birth.
and now it's birth rate.
Right.
So it's William. So
Louis now.
if one of William's kids is a girl,
Yeah, the middle.
will be in that lane. It'll be the oldest brother, then her, then her. I can't remember what kids they've got now, but but now it's birth age.
How do I know
Well-
this and you don't?
Because we never had to think about it. We had the Queen.
No,
That's it.
Yeah,
We didn't
exactly.
think we would
yeah,
outlive the
that's
Queen.
it. It's
Yeah.
it is weird because it's like in the States. I had a friend as well who was really into the monarchy and really followed it, and you tend to absorb more, you tend to pick up more.
It's
And it was like when I came here, I was more interested in, learning about Wales and Welsh culture, and I had my citizenship tests and I learned so much for that. But if you asked me to pass the US citizenship test, I probably wouldn't.
if I went to the States and I took the citizen test, I need to actually learn things that you don't because you live there. It's
Yeah.
just
Right.
You're like, yeah, whatever.
My dad,
you know.
my dad taught British history on the university level. Everybody from freshmen to PhD candidates. And so I learned this stuff literally at my father's knee. And I actually took to it. I liked it. I thought it was interesting. And from a historical perspective, that's part of the reason I watched it, because the last one was 70 years ago,
Yeah.
Yep.
So
My
I wanted
mother-in-law was alive to see it, so.
Pardon?
Well, I expect we'll get to see another one because I don't think Chuck's going to last.
Well,
that
that's what I
long.
was.
He's
I was
old.
saying to my mother-in-law. I says it's going to be
Anyways,
unusual
I
for a
wanted to
lot of.
watch it, and I just love history, and I'm a big fan of British history in particular because I work in law, and that's where we get our laws from. So, and Henry II was the founder of the common law. So I'm a big British history.
Yeah, it's the same as I was saying to my mother-in-law after the Queen passed, that it's going to be unusual for a lot of people because the age of Charles, people now, my generation, we'll be lucky if we'll have the two, the Queen and then the King.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas people born maybe 5 years ago would have had the Queen, they'll have the King, and then they'll go for it on. So they'll have three monarchs. She says, I've had three.
Could conceivably have more.
She says, I've had three already because she was 8 when
my dad had 4 because he was born in 29. So George V was on the throne, and then the less than 1 year of Edward VIII, and then George VI, and then Elizabeth.
Yep. So she was 8 when Elizabeth was on the throne. So in effect, she had 3. So she's had 4 monarchs in a lifetime at the moment.
Right.
So I'm sitting there thinking, my generation, because I grew up, the Queen was there from before I was born.
Right.
I just forget that older people have got a different understanding.
I think we will PJ see 3 though. I mean, we've had the Queen. We'll have the King for as long as he's there. But how old is he? He's 70.
Is it 76?
79 or something?
I thought it was 76. I must admit, but when his mother was crowned, was he not something like 7 or 8?
Yeah.
Tiny. He was really young because I think he was born in 48, and the coronation was in 53. So he wasn't even 5 yet. Yeah. About Louis's age.
So about 76.
I wonder if he remembers being his mum's coronation. I think he was there.
I saw pictures of him with Queen Mary and Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, and he looked bored out of his skull.
Yeah, poor kid.
That's why they took Louis. Actually came because he's 5 now, just turned 5. He was there, but then they sort of took him away for a little while so he wouldn't, misbehave.
I thought I saw something about that. Yeah, that he was sort of playing up a bit.
I saw him. He was sitting.
He does, though, doesn't he?
And then all of a sudden he was gone.
He is 73.
Okay.
73. Okay.
Yeah, he'll be 74 in November. Wow. I think it's November.
All right. Well, he's younger than old Pop, Pop of the Empire. My father.
Oh man, you're young.
That's a relative term, also, Julie. You know that. I'm younger than some. I'm older than many.
Not me.
You're the some.
Well, Julie, we know you're younger than many, so you don't need to actually tell us that.
I'm younger than the king and the queen
There you go.
and Princess Anne.
Oh, Lord.
God, I love that woman. She's fantastic.
Princess Anne, yes. Yeah. I think
So,
that would be a more populist monarch. So it would have been less divisive.
I do wonder though. I mean, I've always felt for Prince Charles, for King Charles,
Mhm.
in as much as he was quite literally
Waiting for his mum
born,
to die to get the job.
he was quite literally born for one thing and one thing only. It's bad enough, but as you said, it was not like some of some of the early monarchs where they couldn't wait to get rid of the other one. But I wonder how much of that has impinged on him because he's literally had nothing to do. But if it had been the situation been right from the start, if it had been Anne had been in that situation, which she would have been waiting her entire life for her mother to pass away, would that have meant that she would have been a very different person to the sort of person she is now, whereas she's grown up not having that pressure, right, and having less and less of that every time one of her siblings has kids. So she's been able to develop herself, her persona within what she perceives to be her role within the family.
Unlike Harry, who resents his 9-year-old nephew.
Well, yeah. But
then again, it's only because his 9-year-old nephew has actually got more brains and personality.
Well,
that's not hard. That's not hard. So did Cartman.
Yeah. So Harry
guys, I'm going home.
We want privacy. We want privacy.
Yeah, given the number of people from the other side of the.
Oh, we lost you, Colin.
Again, the number of people we have in our chat and on our stream from the other side of the pond, either there or from the other side of the pond. It's an odd thing to say, but Harry is proof positive that the English monarch should never marry Americans.
Thank you so much.
I mean,
some of us, like Wendy and I, would have behaved much better.
No, I kept careful.
Correct, but I have to agree. I do have to agree. I think it's like
we've only got two examples.
It's like the doctor is British.
Diana didn't know how to behave. Fergie didn't know how to behave, and they were English.
I'm not
always work that way. You look at the Monaco.
Yeah.
Princess Grace.
Well, I said English, not European.
Yes. But it doesn't always work. It's not just the American thing, it's the American.
I was going to say, because Peter Phillips married a Canadian, but then the Crown Prince of Denmark married an Australian, and she seems to be doing quite well.
Yeah, but the problem is, the thing is, what you're forgetting.
Are you lost as well, Rose?
I'm
completely lost.
I think they're censoring him.
They're definitely small family. Well, the problem is I don't live that far from the castle. Is that what you forget, of course, is that unlike all these other connections with England, Britain, and America, you've got 300 years of the these are all obviously American plots to get over to destabilize us because they. 1776. That's where 300 years later, we're going to try to replace it.
It's revenge of the colonists.
Exactly.
That's what I'm going to say.
Do you really think we're that coordinated over here, Colin? Have you seen us lately?
I've seen
who they actually choose as a politician, as a president. So, I don't think they're that actually well organized.
Now look who our president is. The man who barely knows his name.
I would take Charles over him in a heartbeat.
Oh God, yes.
That's okay. You're actually getting slightly worse. You're getting Harry.
Yeah. No, I don't know if I would take one of the corgis. Either of the corgis would be fine. I mean, that would be perfectly acceptable. They would do far less harm.
You should have put them in charge.
At least they won't actually fall up the stairs.
No, I mean they may not be able to get up to those pointy legs, but
I'm clumsy. I fall upstairs. Better than falling down.
So did I.
Did somebody fall up the stairs?
Yeah,
I've fallen upstairs
multiple times on Air Force One.
Oh, that falling up the stairs. Yes,
Yeah,
I've seen that.
yeah.
I thought you meant on this side of the pond.
actually, because my mum used to call me fitless because I could fall upstairs. I could fall walking across a flat and
I trip over air.
Oh my God.
Oh, you know, I trip over air.
There was one time it happened. I was wearing a pair of jeans, right? So I was in my bare feet, pair of jeans, walking across a flat bit of carpet, and my toe caught, and I went, whoom! My toe caught in a wee loop of the denim as I was walking. It just went click, bang, and my mum just went. Basically, that's just you. There's not a thing you could do to actually stop that. That's just me. So yeah, I shouldn't laugh at somebody falling upstairs because I have done far worse.
Well, you're not the leader of the free world, so
that
that gives you a lot more latitude to fall wherever you want to, PJ. That's the nice thing about it.
That you know about. I'm replacing people. I'm replacing people's backgrounds bit by bit.
That's true. Pretty soon you'll all be here with us. It's like that Doctor Who episode when the spoonheads would suck the people into the.
Oh yeah.
I don't know where I am. I don't know where I am. I feel that's me right now. My son and I actually watched some new classic movies. We'll call them classics now because they're old. We watched the original Point Break.
Oh, wow.
That is such a fun friggin' movie. Keanu Reeves with his limited ability is still fun to watch. Gary Busey is just gold in that thing. Patrick Swayze.
Bless Patrick Swayze. I know. He was wonderful.
Man, and he's
you know what movie I liked? The Point Break always reminds me, and it's just because of the name, is Gross Point Blank. John Cusack.
Yeah, that's also a really good movie.
Fun movie. That is just.
Yeah, the hitman going back to his high school reunion.
With a pencil.
Dan Aykroyd was really good in that. Is the other guy, and then that weird looking little fella, the other assassin, he was just bizarre looking. And who's it? Minnie Driver.
Minnie Driver was the.
Oh, I love Minnie Driver.
She was his secretary.
She's brilliant.
That is another very underrated. You don't really hear about that, but Cusack put out 2 films in later life that were both really good. There was Gross Point Blank, and then
I like High Fidelity.
High Fidelity, thank you.
Love
my brain.
High
Fidelity's the other one.
The book is better, but the movie's still really good.
Yeah, despite Jack Black, who I just can't stand in pretty much anything.
Cannot abide him. Any movie he's in is
Jack
automatically ruined. Yes.
Yeah. I'm not a fan either. I liked him in The Holiday, but I'm not a fan overall.
My wife made me watch that. I have to, because I've seen the movie. I need to preface with my wife made me when we talk about movies like that. It wasn't a bad movie though. It wasn't bad. I must have done something and gotten in trouble, and I was either being punished or I was trying to make up for whatever I had done, which is often. And we also watched Gladiator.
That was a good movie.
The Italian Job?
No, the Italian Job, but Gladiator. It's another.
Oh, Gladiator. I don't even have like a thing to say about Gladiator. I love that movie, start to finish. Although I will offer the extended version isn't worth it. The scenes that it adds are just completely useless. Sometimes the theatrical cut is the one, but they're making, and you guys must have seen this. They're making a Gladiator 2.
Yeah,
No.
I did hear about it.
Oh, shoot me now.
Yep, they've cast my favorite star from The Mandalorian, Pedro Pascal, is going to be in it. Denzel Washington, because you got to have a black dude in the Gladiator movie, but that's fine.
Well, they did
because they had one in the first movie, so you
Rome.
have to have one in the second movie. But it
did
made
have
sense in the
Black
first
Rome.
movie. But it's just like, okay, Denzel, fine. The Gladiator 2, and it's going to be about Lucius, the kid, which again I think is stupid. It's some things. Maybe it'll be fantastic, and I'll eat my words on this. I don't expect that I'm going to, but maybe I will.
Do you
And they're
think
also
going to-
making a cliffhanger too.
Oh,
Remember
it's
the
the Sylvester
Stallone
Stallone one?
film, which from way back when? It's like, what are you guys doing? I understand, Hollywood has a dried sponge for a brain collectively, but dear God, there are so many things you could be using for source material instead of digging up, Hollywood. I was going to say Hollywood gold. Cliffhanger is entertaining. It's not Hollywood gold. Gladiator was Hollywood gold, though. And it's like, what are you guys doing? Why are you doing this?
Do you know what the worst part is? They used to do a similar idea back in the good old days. They would turn around and say, see that Gladiator movie? Can we make another one like it? Now they're saying, but we'll make it about that. Whereas they would say, right, okay, give us an idea of another type of Gladiator movie. That's what they do. They say, that movie was really good. Let's make one like it.
Yes.
The interesting
is calling them films 2, 3, 4, etc. I mean, Shrek, they did it creatively. Shrek the Third, Shrek Goes Forth, whatever it is. But the Star Wars movies didn't need Star Wars 4, 5, and 6. And the Indiana Jones movies didn't need Indiana Jones 2, 3, 4, God knows what. They just were creative enough, and people were bright enough to know what they were talking about. The Thin Man movies, they didn't have Thin Man 15.
Yeah.
But
I must admit, I'm quite happy I've never seen one of a franchise, but I believe is already at 10. Fast and Furious, never seen a single one of those movies.
No, neither have I. Although the cast did, Jay the Deep-Minded one, someone I think we all follow. She's spectacular. The Fast and Furious, Fast X, whatever the latest incarnation is, dropped by her team's whatever race they were involved in, Vin Diesel and crowd. I thought that was it's kind of cool. I mean, whether you know how I feel about the Fast and Furious franchise, whatever, but that's interesting. I've lost my train of thought. That's so easy to do.
Oh goodness, isn't it just?
2, Collins in 1356. I'm stuck in PJ Studio. Nope, I got nothing.
One thing I found quite interesting when I learned about Gladiator is there's an interest.
Every time he gets a cut, I'm just going to say Oliver Reed.
This is the most important thing I'm going to say.
Yeah. Tell me about it. I'm on this end of it. I can see it.
But the problem is, Colin, you're actually still hearing what you've got to say. The rest of us aren't.
Gladiator was, to large degrees, a remake of another movie. And that other movie was quite possibly the one that effectively killed the historical epic that was Fall of the Roman Empire.
Yeah, I'd heard you'd said that before, and I still haven't seen that Fall of the Roman Empire.
It's pretty much, well, I say it's a very similar story in that it ends up with the hero fighting Commodus, etc. But oddly enough, as I say, Fall of the Roman Empire was so expensive and it did so badly, it effectively killed the historical epic. And then Gladiator comes in, same story to a large degree, and reignites it, which was I thought was quite interesting.
No, it's the same idea as the. There was meant to be a Roman movie being made, and they built all the sets, and then they ran out of money, so they couldn't continue with it. And what happened was that's why you got things like Plebs, you got other things like Rome, because there's a set up there nobody's using. So they were using that. That's why you had like Plebs, which was a TV show, and it had all these fantastic, because somebody else had hired it, and they would just go in when they weren't using it and film in these big set pieces. It was things like
Hey,
that, and it works.
yeah.
It's amazing how
That's
stuff like that works.
that's blind stinking luck. I mean, that's great. Good for them.
And that's another one as well. Spartacus.
Oh,
Yeah,
Spartacus was so good. I'm
I
hot
like
and
the
cold
TV
on
show as well.
I liked who played Spartacus.
I don't know, but he passed away.
Because they replaced him. They got a
Yeah.
Who? Because the original guy was great. I want to say it was Sam Worthington, but it was the
Oh,
replacement
well,
guy. But I think I'm
the new
wrong.
ones.
It doesn't really matter. It's no, not the not the big film. But
No,
I understand
Douglas.
Kirk Douglas was not in the television show Spartacus.
He was
but
an
I
actor.
just was he?
No.
What are you talking about?
It would have been interesting.
What
if
if
they
he
had.
was just somebody paused it? And there's Kirk Douglas just in the background. It would have been fun.
That show was just really I loved the fighting scenes. I loved a lot of stuff. A lot of it was just really over the other stuff. Was really over the top. You couldn't watch that show with children around or in your neighborhood.
Or anywhere near
is that Spartacus Blood and Sand?
Yes.
Was that the
well,
one
the
that
whole-
Lucy Lawless was in?
Lucy Lawless was in that. Yeah.
Yes.
I
And
haven't
you
seen
had
it.
this is Robert Carlyle. Who was it? It was, oh God, I can't even remember his name. I've got the picture of him. He played the leader of the gym or whatever they called it. I can't remember what they call it, but it was just one of those ones that you couldn't watch it with it. I mean, it was violent. It showed how little life meant.
Yes.
Overly sexualized, male and female all at it, with male and female, and I think maybe even a couple of animals. But
Yeah, they went a bit crazy.
No, they
was a
went
bit crazy,
nuts,
but
man.
see, people, I always say, like, there's certain things like Game of Thrones and stuff like that. There's a lot of nudity and all that, and it's just to get people to watch. They didn't do it to get people to watch. They did it to show how little life meant. So it didn't suddenly, like, people are watching it, now we can stop doing all that. They basically were showing how little life meant. People were getting cut up. Things were getting cut off. And it was just to show that life means nothing here. And
That was
that.
Andy Whitfield was the first actor, and then Liam McIntyre, MCINTYRE. So that it was the replacement.
That's how you spell tire. You know, the thing that goes on a wheel.
McIntyre.
Is that how we spell tire?
Yes, it is.
TYRE.
How you spell tire in English.
Took me years to get used to spelling tire with a Y.
Yeah,
I still
You actually do that? I thought
TIRE.
Colin was just messing with me.
No,
Why would you
it's
do
spelled
that?
with a Y here. Yeah, it messes with your brain.
I was slightly miffed that no one actually picked up a comment I made in Blue's thing earlier.
And he's gone.
I know, I saw it again. They were talking about the 0-point modules in Stargate, and I think, but I think they made a point. I seem to recall them doing it in. I'm gonna fucking shout this in a minute because McKay was Canadian. He pronounced it Canadian British, and I think he called them ZPMs, if I remember right.
Aye.
And I said
Canada,
in the comments, but what I said in Blue's chat was, I think they did that. Didn't he spell it? Didn't they make it? They make a thing of that of McKay spelling it the Canadian / British way. Brackets, which is the correct way to pronounce it? Is what I put. No one spotted it.
Well, Canadians spell it TIRE, just so you know.
Oh, did I? All right. So
then again, America has got ZZ Top.
Exactly.
Americans what?
Have got ZZ Top as a band.
Yes. No, Canadians do say Z. We're the only Anglophones who do say Z.
Yeah, because I think you're also the only Anglophones who do the date your way around. I think Canadians do it.
Canada does it the way we do.
Canada does as well. Okay, fair enough. You corrupt.
So wrong. What you're basically saying is wrong.
Canadian
Oh,
English
yes.
and U.S. English are more similar than different.
Yeah, Canadian is probably literally half, combination between Canadian,
Well,
between
part of it
British
is based
English
on
and
our
American.
television. They get almost
You've got
Yeah.
English, you've got American, you've got the missing link. We call them Canadian.
Yes.
Canadian really is a lot closer to American. And well, Colin and I have talked about this in the past. A lot of it is because we've maintained a lot of the old colonial era
Mm.
ways of speaking. Like you guys use the past participle of to get as got. We will still say gotten, which is why when I'm listening to a Big Finish and they have Perry talking, you know immediately the woman's not a real American and then not and a non-American's writing for her.
Yeah.
Because she'll say something about, oh, I didn't realize you'd got here instead of gotten. A Canadian or American would never say you have got here. Ever.
That's true. Well, some might, but
99.999.
Whereas you need to explain it because Roman didn't get that.
I got it.
You got it, right?
And then, I remember watching show Spooks, and they would have these characters who are playing Americans, but they're not because they'll say things like military. Nobody in North America pronounces it.
Aluminum.
It's always military.
Aluminium.
All our syllables.
Well, we don't call an elevator a lift.
No, I understand that.
mean,
But this
all
was,
those things.
But that's the obvious ones. But again, they had this character saying something about something about the military, and immediately you knew this woman or man, whoever it was not North American.
Mac McDonald.
I
Mac
remember.
McDonald, Red Dwarf.
Huh?
Mac McDonald, he's played over in the UK, he played a lot of Americans. Mac McDonald from Red Dwarf.
Oh, okay.
Oh, he
Right.
played
Eventually,
captain.
he played the captain in Red Dwarf, first episode, and a couple episodes here and there. And a lot of TV shows, he played the American part, the colonel or something like that. And you can see it wasn't quite. It's the same idea as you've got Hugh Laurie.
He does a really good job, though.
Yeah.
But you still, when I was watching it, even I was aware that taking it because I'm aware of some of the colloquialisms that he would use. The best one I ever saw was a Miami Vice episode, and Phil Collins was in it.
Oh,
right?
okay. I hadn't seen that one. I'd heard about it, but I never saw it.
And whoever had written it, Phil Collins had said, I wouldn't say that. Because there's no way an American wrote his lines. They probably have written it and he's going, nah. Like, for instance, he was just having a chat with someone, and then instead of calling him a derogatory word, which is an American derogatory word, he called him a wanker.
I would never say that.
And it basically, and I'm sitting there thinking, an American didn't write that. It's no way, because it was the way he was slagging him off was very British, the way he was doing it. And I thought that's when I knew that he's either basically customized it, taking the line and says, listen, you wouldn't, if he played a British guy in an American show, so he wasn't meant to be an American. He played it as a British guy. Phil Collins, he was a singer, but he did some acting, and he was really good at it because it sounded authentic. And I like it when that happens. It's the same idea as when you've got an American doing a part over here and somebody's written an American and they've obviously went, nah, we wouldn't say that.
Right.
And change it, and you can see it's actually done properly, and I like that.
Renee Zellweger did a very good job playing Bridget Jones as an English woman. She did a very good job.
Yeah, I heard that.
Dominic West was fantastic as an American.
Yes. Yeah, he was in. Wasn't he in the Ian Fleming film?
I don't remember. I know
The Man Who Would Be Bond or something. I think it was I believe it was
The guy from Baltimore in The Wire.
Is he the guy?
Oh, Dominic West. I'm sorry. I'm mixing up my not British, maybe British people. Yes. Yeah, I forget he's British. You're right. Yeah, he was excellent in The Wire. Well, and also Idris Elba in The Wire as Stringer Bell. I mean, if you didn't know who he was, you would never. I mean, and the same. I mean, and like almost everybody on the freaking Walking Dead is from somewhere else. They're not American though, and they all have actual, whatever different versions of the accent. It's like, okay, but then they all sound like Andrew Lincoln. No,
he's amazing. Yeah,
is Negan. I think he's like the only American on the show.
Not people like John Barrowman and Gillian Anderson, who I can't remember the word, but there's an actual term for people who are completely fluent in 2 accents. Because you've got, obviously you've got people who are bilingual in 2 separate languages. The 2 of them are bilingual, for lack of a better word, in 2 accents.
Who is it that was in Homeland?
Don't know it.
The guy with the ginger hair, the one that played Weathers in Band of Brothers.
Damien Lewis.
Damien Lewis, yeah. He was also in Band of Brothers, wasn't he? And he's American.
He's coming back to a show called, I think it must be the final season of the show because he left.
What was his wife's name? She
Billions
died.
is the series.
And who was his wife's name? Helen McCord.
In the real world?
In the real world. She died.
Oh, okay.
Narcissa in the Harry Potter movies.
Okay, that's
not too sure.
I like it. I mean, I loved him as Dick Winters in Band of Brothers. He was phenomenal in that. And then
he does a really good American accent.
And then the Showtime show, which when I say them together like that sounds stupid, but it's a Showtime show called Billions, which ran great for 5 seasons with him on it, and then he left. And the bald guy from the first Ant-Man movie took over, Corey something, who is not a very good replacement. And then the show is now, like I said, it's going into its final season, and Damien Lewis is coming back to wrap it up, which should be very exciting.
One of my friends used to watch Billions. I'd never seen it, but she constantly was at
Paul Giamatti, man. Paul Giamatti is just fantastic. He's a good actor anyway. He's one of those guys you don't see.
I like him.
I love Paul Giamatti. He's really good in everything.
It's funny though, because you got he goes through a metamorphosis. I know, Zach. I know. Hey, we were talking about your review.
We were just talking about
your review.
Yes, and I watched it, and it is really good. Thank you for the review and the recommendation.
Yeah, whenever you get a Zach's recommends, you're guaranteed you're going to get something pretty awesome on the end of that. Paul Giamatti, who is not Zach. Zach is in much better shape than Paul Giamatti. He's so for the first I forget which season they had a pause during the mysterious virus of unknown origins. And so, but when they come back from the pause, Paul Giamatti is like all thin. So you're going from one, you close out the season, then you start the next one. It's like, what the hell happened? Because he looks like he's about half the man he used to be.
Well, I find it surprising at times. There's some actors, you see them, and if you first see them in a role where they're putting on an accent and they're doing it well, you then hear them speaking their own accent. I mean, I think the first time I became aware of David Tennant was as a Doctor. So when I first heard him speaking in his own Scottish accent, I thought,
first thing I thought David Tennant was Davina, Ramsay Nesbitt. He played the barmaid.
Yeah.
The first time I ever saw him was in Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, and he played an English accent.
He's just an expert at accents, Tennant. He's brilliant.
It's too bad. What's her name was it? Because
we saw him in Casanova.
Yes,
the pig nose lady, Jodie. She's not a master of accents.
No, Jodie was not.
She's not a master of anything.
Oh, I was in B&M today, and I could have come out with a toy for my pick of the week, but they only had 3 Doctor Who ones. One had She Who Must Not Be Named.
Ugh.
Right. The other one had 3 versions of David Tennant in the one box, and I'm sitting there thinking, huh? 3 versions. They just one had the suit on, one had a shirt on, and one had a shirt and a tie on. I'm sitting there thinking,
You're just trying to sell the merch.
And the other one had Billy Piper, Christopher Eccleston, and some grey guy. I think it was meant to be Simon Pegg, but it looked nothing like him. I just thought
the David the Christopher Eccleston era.
Yeah,
that's too bad when you get the 3 packs. They got to throw in like the wonky one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's like I want to get the 14th Doctor, but I don't want to get what it comes with. It comes with David Tennant, and then it comes with her. So it's like,
why would you want? Why would you want the 14th Doctor? She was horrible.
I saw 3 McFarlane figures as well today.
I don't care what.
What is Colin talking about? He's confused me again.
She's the 14th Doctor. She can't be the 13th because the 13th was Capaldi.
Oh, because you're counting the War Doctor.
I'm counting from proper regenerations.
Okay.
In fact, no.
Oh God.
So
in fact, she was the 15th.
So what he's saying is the 14th.
I thought I was pedantic.
What he's saying is the 13th is actually the 14th, but the 14th is actually the 50th, the 12th, as well as the
Well, no,
this is why they censor you, Colin. This is why they do it. It's things like this.
I just give up at this point and have another sip of beer, man. I'm like, yeah, I'm out.
It's actually quite logical.
Honest.
Yeah. Take it from the end and take it from the end.
Colin, you and I have discussed this. When was the last time logic was applicable in Doctor Who?
About 8 years ago.
But no,
you take it from the end and count it backwards, right? which means no from the end. The 13th Doctor must have been the last Doctor because 12 regenerations, 13 lives, and no more. That's it. Matt Smith did not expect to regenerate. He only regenerated because the Time Lords rebooted him, which meant that was a new regeneration cycle, which meant Capaldi was the 14th. Because Matt Smith must have been the 13th, 12th regeneration, 13th Doctor. Otherwise, he wouldn't have had any problems regenerating. By their own
chronologically
logic.
Correct. However, logically, it's Doctor Who.
Yes.
Because remember, Colin, we were talking about this the other day, that there is a big finish story with the 5th Doctor and Jenny, and why doesn't 10 remember her?
Yeah, that's coming up. Yes. Well, they did the same with the first. I got the first one of those when it actually came out with the whatever the heck it's supposed to the war with the not actually the 4th Doctor, but looks like the 4th Doctor and Sarah Jane. So why is it that when Sarah Jane meets him in school reunion, she hasn't seen him before, when they've just had an adventure where she meets him?
Yeah. Huh? See, Doctor Who's always been weird for that. They had when they try and do alternate other parts of the media.
Yeah, they have this problem when they try to do retroactive stories, is that if you come across if you come across a pair that I know, I just saw it. You come across a pair, it doesn't matter who, that in their own chronology.
Right. Well, they're hitting him hard today, man.
He's
got the Time Lords pissed at him. He's got the royalty pissed at him. He's got, everybody is pissed at Colin today.
I know, it's terrible, isn't it? I should just start writing in chat. You've got whenever you've got, it's usually because of the nature of the machine, a companion and the Doctor. But whenever they try to bring, yes, Capaldi was a new cycle. There you go. Logic. If you I'm going to give up. I will not be silenced.
Wrong.
I saw Oh, that came in. Oh, I could have done that one bit if I'd done it myself. When I was,
I will not be.
exactly. Oh, that was almost worth it. But what is it? They've got this problem. They do that. They tend to. And you say, okay, so you get the companion and the Doctor split, and in established continuity, the companion doesn't meet the Doctor again until they meet them in a special, some at 10, 20 years down the line. Fine, no problem. But you then get Big Finish or someone wants to actually bring that companion back. They've got a problem.
Oh,
You've somehow got to you've got to bring them back. You either got to somehow make them forget it. You can do it with a Doctor because it's been established that when a Doctor meets another Doctor,
They don't always remember.
They don't. Only the newest incarnation remembers. So that's fine. But if you do it with, they've done it several times with companions, you meet them again and you go, but how? Why don't they remember? Although they did it with, they've done it with the third and Joe, but what they've done is they've done that in Joe's timeline after she's met the 11th Doctor in the Sarah Jane Adventure. So that will work because they put it in the right place in a timeline. Mm-hmm. But with these 60th anniversary with Sarah, they've got it in the wrong place in her timeline because you've then got that she gets picked up for the 5 Doctor. She doesn't actually meet the Doctor again until school reunion, which is still the best.
It's a wonderful episode. Another one that makes me cry.
I can't watch
It's
that
one that I must admit I kept.
It just
for.
destroys me.
You what, PJ?
It's the only one I've kept a DVD for from the new stuff. I gave all my other DVDs away, and that was the only one I kept. School reunion because it had Liz Flair in it.
I love that episode. It's so good.
Yep. And I was going to say, when I was out and I saw those Doctor's figures, I saw 3 McFarlane ones.
Oh, what'd you say? What'd you say?
Well, it was a Superman, a King Robin, and a Cyborg, and each of them had a bit of Batman in it.
Oh, it's one of those, the Build-A-Figure.
Yeah. But King Robin, never heard of that one.
No, I hadn't either. I know that because they have a couple of those. They have a King Spawn, or not a King Spawn, I'm sorry. Well, they do have a King Spawn, but they have it's a King Shazam as well. And these are, I don't know what, I'm not familiar with whatever storyline. It's got to be from like the metal series.
Because even the Superman,
a lot of books in that.
The Superman looked weird because he's wearing a pair of jeans and a Superman t-shirt, and it looked like ribbons wrapped around his knuckles, almost like bracers. But I don't know if they're meant to be metal, but they were blue, so I took them as like a ribbon type thing. But it just looked weird, so I just went.
They're not all gold. It's the sad thing.
The Batman looked, the figure it was going to be a build looked quite nice. But I ain't buying 4 or 5 figures just to get Batman.
No, I run into that all the time, dude, because it's like, man, I would really like to have that Build-A-Figure, but I really don't care about 3 of the figures in this series. It's like, you know, I'm actually, I am now on a action figure and record moratorium for a while. I've just because of the many bad bits of luck in the finances of the Empire as of late. So yeah, I could never buy another one and still have plenty. I mean, actually we talked about this last week, and I should have brought one out, one of the old ones. But now I'm not in my studio, so I don't know what to do. Tabletop junk, nice.
Hey, welcome.
And then records, of course. You know, like I said, records are my new expensive hobby, which I'm also cut off from. But I could listen to a different record every day of the week at this point, and go for about 6 months or so.
Yeah,
I found some that I wanted though, PJ. Which you know, it's hard when you got the itch. And it wasn't even like particularly exciting. I talked about it before. It was the Mantis figure, because the Mantis figure would complete my Guardians of the Galaxy group. why I didn't get it was because Mrs. of the Empire told me I couldn't. But the other reason that I use for justification in my own mind to make it easier is that she's wearing the uniform from Volume 3.
Mm-hmm.
And all of the Guardians, they have a whole new set of Guardians figures they're putting out where they're all wearing that blue uniform, and it's cool. But it's like, that's $125 or so to and actually, I Am Groot. Groot's is like $50 freaking dollars, and I don't. He's a little bit bigger, and he's got some kind of weird wing thing going on. But it's like, it's a lot. It's a lot for that set if you're if you're a completionist. But I just wanted to get the Mantis. I'm like, oh, she's wearing a blue. I can live with it. But then she's like, you realize that
I shouldn't really need to do this, Miss Roman. I should just stay just behind you. But remember this figure, the Iron Man, and the Captain America shield. Well, I saw another set. Right, they had the Thanos gloves, so I was still not interested in it. They had the Iron Man mask, but they had Captain Carter's shield as well. Exactly.
Actually, I don't mind that. I wouldn't want it as a big thing.
It's the same size,
right? But that's. I mean, it's not tiny. It's not. But I like the action figure. I actually don't even mind the character. But as far as like collectible stuff goes, I wouldn't. I like the Thanos glove though. I would get the Thanos glove.
Yeah. One figure I nearly picked up, and the only reason I didn't is because even I thought it was considering it was in B&M, which is a fairly inexpensive store. It was quite expensive. It was £35, and it was a Predator, clear Predator.
Hello.
So it was a clear figure.
Oh, nice!
And it's the camouflage Predator.
Yeah,
and it looked really good, but I'm not paying £35 for something.
No, that's kind of the standard on. That's the NECA. The NECA words are hard. NECA is the one who produces those, and that's about the norm. Because like the McCready action figure that I have, that's a NECA figure, and that's what I paid. It was like in that $35-$40 range.
See, the thing is, I suppose if I was getting it online or was buying it out, I think, but get into a fairly inexpensive B&M is like a Walmart, right? You're going in there and you're paying the same type of price at any. Why would I go in there and buy the cheap one?
Right? No, I got it. No, could you tell? Was it like a fully articulated?
It looked
figure.
Yes.
Oh, that's cool. See a clear version like that. That's neat.
It looked really good. So it was basically because the back they had the trees. The paper with the trees, and you could actually look and see the trees through it. It was actually quite a nice effect on it, and it was because they had the other one next to it, and it was a fully articulated, so it was in the same range. So it has to be fully articulated, so it's done completely in clear plastic.
That sounds good, dude.
I was tempted to pick it up, but because it was £35, I thought, give it a wee while. They'll bring the price down. Probably the day before I get in, they bring the price down. Somebody else buys it.
Yeah, I want to share this. Holy crap, that's expensive. Let me share my screen again. These are some. Actually, I got one of these. What am I doing? Help! Share. I like to think I'm a fairly bright person, but every time I come onto a stream and try to do anything, I prove that I am not. And it's just very depressing for me.
There you go.
All right, so this is the baseline set of figures. I have the Cracklin figure, the fellow with the Yondu's. So, and I have the one of the legs of Cosmo, the dog. Let me see can I expand this? Click to expand. There we go. Here we go. That's better.
Why do they look like a Fantastic Four?
So
you're not so Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all the uniforms. Like I said, it's kind of cool, but it's $200 for what you're looking at here. And and Cosmo the Space Dog is a Build-A-Figure. Let's see. Well, I want to find the Groot figure though. Oh, come on. I know that. Well, okay. Entertainment Earth. Hang on, give me 1 sec here, and I'll see if I can find. Is this it? There's Groot. Did they have Groot just on his own? Here we go. Yeah.
That
He looks weird though, right? I don't really like the look of this figure. Here's his butt. Oh, and you see the hole in his back? Not in his butt. That would be weird. That's where his wings attach.
Thankfully.
Okay.
So he's kind of a wonky looking figure.
Hey, Melvin.
Hi,
Oh,
Melvin.
Melvin, hey.
Good to see you.
So
Dog
anyway,
has
that's
a bucket on his head. I missed that.
See it? Basically, it's like one of the cones.
Oh, okay. Got it.
It looked like a cone, but it could have actually been a space helmet. But it looked like a cone.
The space dog.
Yes.
Yeah, that's no, it's a helmet, I think.
Okay.
It's part of because remember she's Russian.
Now I see it. It looks like the cone of shame from that angle.
Yep.
Expand. Here we go.
And you could do click right. I think you can actually see one of the dog on its own.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So I have this leg.
It still looks like a cone of shame. I'm sorry.
Do the next one across again. You'll see the side on view.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, you can see the helmet a little bit better.
Now I get it.
Yeah.
And then the next one side view.
There we go.
All right.
From all the way over here, I saw that.
Yeah.
So
Crazy. Good eyes, man.
He's been swallowed by Pac-Man.
And then, actually, this is kind of cool. Okay, it's going to let me go through Peter, Drax.
Yeah, I'll let you see anybody try and get them to pose like that when they've got them out the pack.
Right
Why
over.
is there only a dog's leg?
This is the one that I wanted to get, but then Mrs. The Empire told me no, and I agreed. Nebula.
Have they all got the same leg?
What's with the dog's leg?
No. Four figures come. 4 figures, 4 legs.
Oh.
With Rocket, you get the rest of the dog.
Oh.
Ah,
They
right.
look like the same
Who
leg.
gets the bucket?
That's
Who gets
weird.
the bucket?
Yeah.
But yeah, these figures are $25 each if you buy them separately. Which is $5 more than they used to be. They've raised the price on the Legends figures. This is Adam Warlock.
Looks like an Auton.
Which it's like, all right, fine.
He looks like an
Cracklin. So yeah, I have this leg. I have this as well as Cracklin.
Auton. So you have to buy all that stuff just to complete
Just
the
to
dog?
build Cosmo the space dog, or
So
you'll be able to go
they're-
online. You'll be able to go on eBay and buy Cosmo the space dog for like $100 is the way it'll end up working.
So instead of build a bear, we're talking build a dog.
Yes.
Dang.
Is it cool? Sure. Is it 200? Is it $100? Cool. I'm a pretty serious collector, but even
That
I.
guy actually looks like Chris Pratt. That's impressive.
No, the head sculpts on these are nice. They did a good job. They actually look a lot better than the previous incarnations of these figures. So I have to give Legends that. I mean, I don't think that's where my $5 goes, but whatever. It's fine. It's all part of the experience.
You want to get the bits and pieces that you can of the dog and put it together and say the rest has been snapped by Thanos.
Hey,
Mid-snap.
Copa. Hey, Copa.
Oh, Copa. Good to see you, buddy.
And
Too. Welcome, Keely Chow.
hey, Gary. And Disaster. Hey, Disaster area.
Hey,
Today.
piling in now.
I'd buy
Hey, Roll Tide
you buy a
Kitty
1/6
Chow.
Cosmo. Yeah, I like I said, Wookie, I like the figure. I think it's cool, but I don't. I have to replace every Guardian of the Galaxy I have to build the dog, and then they didn't. Then my older figures, they have to go in the box because I only have so many. Certain figures having duplicates of is fine. In fact, many of them. Guardians of the Galaxy, I actually have 2 Peter Quills. But one of them is in the box because they're just similar. Now, this, like I said, the whole uniform replacement thing, I think it's kind of cool. But it's a man has to know his collection limits. If you have unlimited space and funds, buy them. But I have neither of these things. I mean, I'm in my expansion universe right now, but it's not the same.
You don't need to know the limits. That's what you've got a wife for.
Well, she certainly lets me know. Well, it isn't even just her letting me know the limits at this point.
Not
It's
just
the
collection, it's
cosmos
limits.
letting me know the limits. It's saying, see, you've had a little disposable income there, Roman. We're going to take that.
Remember that?
Cosmos.
That doesn't exist anymore.
I've reached my limit, but then again, there's a Comic-Con coming up in a couple of months, so only until
So
then.
much for limits.
Yep. Limits,
Right.
what's that?
Exactly. Whoa.
What are those? What are those?
I saw Alex yesterday. He popped in to Father Miller's show.
Yes.
It's like
He
he's
popped in
alive.
for me. Well, I was in the chat. I was doing odds and ends that I couldn't actually concentrate too much on. So, yeah, I'm glad the father's back.
Yeah, I know. I wanted to come on, but we just it's turmoil and chaos. I was able to make it on today because I made meatballs last night.
Saw the picture.
I made the sauce. I made the sauce this morning because if I do it all together, it takes a lot of time. It's not a small undertaking. So getting the meatballs because that takes the most time for actual just putting that together. The sauce takes a long time to cook, but it doesn't take that long to prep. Just it's basically veg prep and tomatoes and seasoning and then throw it in there. But so I got up super early so I could do that so I could be on today. I'm like, I don't want to miss the show again. I'm like a bad girlfriend at this point. I mean, he never writes, he never calls.
Roman, your Instagram is like a killer when you're hungry and you start seeing these great photographs come up of like barbecue this and smoke that. And you're like, oh my God, I'm getting on the plane.
That on Twitter too, luckily for me.
Yeah. My stomach's actually sitting there going, get him.
I know. I still have 2 of those sirloins left that I cooked on Thursday, but I got the meatballs for today. We're doing a birthday celebration for a very close friend of ours. Her and my goddaughters are coming over, so I made
You
up.
didn't need to bother about my birthday.
Wait, what?
Copa asked.
Within a realm of this couple of weeks, let's say. I never say when my birthday is. I just always let it pass and then say, "Why did you forget?"
So you're still.
It's my.
You still have a 5 in front of your birthday right now. You're because I know you're like a biscuit older than I am. But
I'm 58.
So it's the last of the 50s. Ooh, he's creeping up.
58 this year.
Good for you.
Yeah,
so
we're twinsies. We're twinsies.
Copa, if I mail you the meatballs, you're not gonna want to open that box, dude. It's gonna be like that scene in 7. What's in the box? What's in the box?
What's in the box?
No, I want to send Copa some stuff. They've just had their baby Catania, and
yay!
Yeah.
Well, you need to remember when we all come to Vegas next year, you bring the food.
Of course, you realize. You know what's
my God.
We're all going to Roman's house.
Screw Vegas. We're going to go to San Diego. Why are you going there?
You're all going to Vegas.
There's
At which point you find out actually the meet this year's in London.
I'm still waiting for a date for the September meet. Well, I've got the date. I need a location so I can start booking hotel and stuff.
So they have dates but no places?
Well, we know when they're coming over to the UK. They've not put anything out because obviously with the Vegas meetup, that was the priority. Now I'm hoping over the next couple of weeks they'll say where and when. Next
year, PJ, there will. It's a year off. I understand that, but we have to do a lot of coordinating. So you know, like I said, it's the right part of the city, so you're not. 10 miles doesn't sound far, but when you're stuck in Uberland and everybody's over here and you're trying to put all these things together, that it's kind of a lot.
That's crazy.
So we'll,
Yeah.
like I said, we'll put all that together though, and we have to go. I have to go back to the Caesars Bacchanal.
Oh
buffet.
yeah, that's on my list. Yeah, you.
Of all the things in Vegas, there was the meetup, and then there was the buffet. It was literally a 2-tiered thing.
It was the meet up, then the meet down.
Oh my god, it was so good. Like I said,
Yeah,
it's the best. It's the best. The best brisket I've ever had. As a man who knows how to make a brisket, I tear up a little bit thinking about it. It was so delightful.
I'm not
Bone
going
marrow,
to eat
which
the whole
I
the
never.
whole week ago. I'm not going to eat. I'm going to wait until I go there.
So I look back on that as my golden time. Everything was still good then. I wasn't poor. The car had been destroyed, but the car, in retrospect, now is pretty minor. We still don't have a replacement vehicle. I'm waiting for the check to arrive from the other insurance company. The amount was fine. It's very decent. So I don't really have. I'm still going to be out money because we look at the private market. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm going a little off topic here. The private vehicle market is skeevy. Is I think a good word to use. You never know quite what you're going to get or how long it's going to last, and that's the problem. If you can only afford that, that's
What your wedding night?
fine. But I don't want to buy a car and then it craps the bed, and now I have to buy a car again in 6 months. It's like I said, I'm still out money, but the amount that the insurance company agreed to was fine. So you guys are all over there. I mean, this is the perfect opportunity for all you UK folks.
Exactly, because I'm
to get
hoping.
together.
I know. I think Alex away that week with his brother and that, so I don't know if he'll be able to get. I'm hoping it's going to be a location where we can all meet up. So
That would be awesome.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, meet all the people that's in the chat. How great would that be?
Meet cute. Meet cute. What does that mean? I'm looking at Retro Doc's thing. I don't understand what he means.
Meet cute. When people, when a married couple talks about how they met and it's really a cute story, it's meet cute.
I've never heard that.
You've never heard
that. I've never heard that phrase before.
You've never
it's like, is this some freaking British thing? I have no idea what you're talking about. I need to get the dictionary again.
In the movie The Holiday, Eli Wallach has to explain it to Kate Winslet. And he's American and she's British.
All right. I accept it. I'm sure I will.
Roman, the private car market over there is just as bad as it is over here.
Okay.
That's why prior to me buying the car I've got, I had a garage, a guy I knew, and I would go down and he would go, nah, you'll get about a year out of that, but I'll give you it for this, and it'll last you a year. So I knew what I was getting.
If I wanted, like I said, the problem, I'm giving the car to my son, and I need him to have something reliable and safe because he just got reemployed, which is very exciting for me. But so I went down to meet this dude. He was a fine fellow. But it was basically a clone of my son's car. It looks exactly the same year, same color, same everything. And it pulls up and it had the same bumper was the problem. It actually had a crack through the bumper and a screw holding it in. I'm like, we're not starting off well. We're not starting off well. And we open the hood up, and the hood arm, the thing that you put in place so the hood stays up, is gone. It's not there. He's like, yeah, Toyota makes cheap. I'm like, Toyota doesn't make cheap anything, dude. What are you talking about? The battery was the big problem, though. In America, and I imagine in England as well, or in Scotland or anywhere in the UK, there are 2 wires that go to the battery, the red wire and the black wire. There shouldn't be a white wire also thrown into the mix just to spice it up. We're looking at it, and I brought a friend with me who knows what he's looking at. He's like, what's that wire go to? And he's like, and we're like, oh my God, whatever, you've got some hinky wiring thing to power up something in this vehicle. And the battery was just free ranging in the compartment. It wasn't even strapped down.
Yeah.
And
what's this button do?
Yeah. So that was my first. I haven't looked at a used vehicle pretty much ever. And that was it. That was my introduction. And that was the end. And I did look at one more on some app here in the States. I don't remember what it was called. It was kind of a nice looking vehicle. It's a Toyota Matrix. It's like a hatchback thing. It's fine. But then he sends me the car facts for it. It's like a dirty girl in school. It's had 6 owners. 6 owners.
I must admit, the best car I ever owned, the best deal I ever got, I was so skeptical. It was just the guy I had known, and he says, "Got a car for you. It's 10 years old." And I'm sitting there thinking, oh, he says, "Only £500." And I'm going, oh, I says, "What's the catch?" He says, "It's had 1 owner." I says, "Okay,
Right.
what's the catch?" He says, "It's got 27,000 miles on the clock." I says, "Uh-huh.
Right.
I opened the bonnet. I didn't know what I was looking at, but it was clean. I says, "But what's the catch?" He says, "The guy wants it to go to a good home because it's his love." And he says, "Anybody else would just take it and run it into the mud and sell it on." He says, "You're looking for a car." That was the catch. He needed somebody who wanted a car and look after it. And I, whoa, 27,000 miles on the clock. He showed me the MOT.
Wow.
In the last 5 years, the guy had done 200 miles, 400
Wow.
miles, 150 miles. It
Talk
literally
about
only used it
sweet.
to go to the shop, and that was it. He kept it. It was that well kept. When you opened the engine block, everything
Oh my
around the
God.
engine was clean. It
Wow.
was amazing, and I
That's
kept going,
amazing.
"What's the catch? What's the catch? What's the catch?"
Yeah.
And he says, the guy doesn't want to just sell it. He wants it to go to somebody who's wanting a car, not somebody who'll just buy it and sell it on. So that was the only catch. I had to actually promise I wasn't selling it. I had it for about 4 years. But I loved it. The Rover, an old Rover. It was
Oh,
beautiful.
that's fantastic. See,
Uh-huh.
if something like that, if anybody's watching and you could throw a deal like that my way, I'd really appreciate it. Otherwise, we're going to be selling the kidney of the empire
Yeah.
soon to help take care of some of the bills.
I've had my Alfa Romeo was a good one. I got it at an auction. Thought I got a good deal. Driving away and it's going,
Oh no!
took it down to the mechanic. And he looked at it and says, "Your exhaust is shot." So he replaced the exhaust. Driving down the road in Glasgow, in Scotland, where it's raining all the time, went through a puddle. The engine went,
Oh no!
the intake was too close and it just went, blew the engine. And I said to the insurance, it says, "It's because you went through a puddle. No insurance cover."
What?
A puddle? You're telling me a car?
Oh my
can't drive
God!
through a puddle? Then that was it. It was a write-off,
Sorry.
and they wouldn't actually cover it because it went through a puddle in Scotland. What are you selling that car in Scotland for?
So in Britain, they went to a fucking Lord, right?
In Scotland, you know what I mean? Scotland was
Oh.
basically when the Bible was written. It says it's going to rain for 40 days and 40 nights. They says all the summer, right? You know what I mean? So, but no, I've had an Alfa Romeo, drove through a puddle, and it just went. That was
That's
it.
terrible.
Then the insurance went, you drove through a puddle. And there's puddles everywhere.
Yeah, and
I don't even know how to respond to that. I probably would have lost my stuff because
Sort of, I did. I got a whole £40 back when I sold it to the scrap.
oh,
oh my God.
oh.
But yeah, I've had good ones and I've had bad ones.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we got a decent amount for it, so I can actually. I mean, I could, if the used market weren't right, well, because that's why we got decent amounts because the used market is insane right now. It's just because the amount we got for the car, I wouldn't pay for that car. It just I wouldn't in the shape that it was in. It's the announcer sounds car. And because the clone car was a lot less. I'm like, oh, I'll still actually have some money after this. But then, like I said, I didn't feel safe doing it. And then I also don't want to bother my poor mechanic friend. I'm not mechanically inclined. I'm not, as you've probably realized by my technical abilities here in the studio. I'm good with some things. I'm not good with cars. I could. It's not my bag, baby. So I got a buddy of mine, the same Tom of Tom's Tinkering and Adventures. Is my Navy buddy. He's got a big giant mechanical brain, but I don't want to bug him every time I find a car. It's like, hey, you want to come 50 miles with me to look at this one, or whatever. And he doesn't mind, but I feel like a bad friend. I was going to use colorful terms. I didn't use them. And if I just get it from the dealer, then I don't have to deal with all the other. So
Yeah.
The trials and tribulations of Roman and the
Yeah, it was
Empire.
the
Welcome
same
this week to
idea.
this therapy session.
I felt bad this year with my car because basically the exhaust went and suspension and the brake lines all went. So that was $1,000 I
Ooh.
spent on the car. My wife had said to me, "You don't want to just get a new one?" And I said, "No, $1,000 compared to a new one. I think I'll pay the $1,000." But
No, exactly.
I do like my car. I love my car. It's a Duke, and it's nice, comfortable. Can sit up. I'm no driving like that. Driving
Actually,
this
Copa, I wasn't hands on the helicopters, just so you know that. I managed the crews. That was my job. So now, to be fair though, you're in the business long enough, you learn a thing or two about a thing or two. You know, when something breaks, you know why it's broken. You don't have to go through all of the digging because you know why it's broken. Now, with an automobile, well, it's a lot of the same thing. I can tell you, you know, the parts and how they're supposed to work, but I'm not the guy who can change out the bits. That's not my thing.
You're more of a supervisor.
That's what I did. But like I said, I know I have no mechanical abilities, and I always worry that I'm going to screw something up. That's the other thing about working on vehicles. Or you know, I don't want to miss the thing, you know, that my buddy can look at and go, that's not right. Like, you know, I would have seen the white wire as well, but the third wire to the battery, the unique design from the 2010 Toyota Corolla with the white wire. But anyway.
There's your new car. Car's owned by one careful owner. The 7 other ones couldn't give a damn.
Well, that was the one car. Like I said, 6 owners. That's a lot of owners.
Yeah. But cars can be fun. I love driving. I must admit, I do. If I was going down to London, Southampton, whatever, if I had a choice, I would drive down because it's work. They won't give me the day to drive down, the day to drive back. You fly down, you fly back up. I can understand that, but that's why I'm hoping it's not London the meetup's at. I'm hoping it's somewhere else so I can drive down rather than get a train and all that. So I've got my car, can drive down, sit in comfort, stop when I want to. If I want to go and visit somebody, I've got my car. I like driving, so I do.
The drive to Vegas wasn't bad. I was really surprised at how it just was fine. I don't like to drive. You'll find this surprising as well. I don't prefer to drive, and also people don't prefer to be my passengers. Also, that's something else that you. I'm told I'm a bit of a neurotic driver, which again, so but it was like 5
neurotic.
Wait, what?
Neurotic
or neurotic?
No. She's here all week, folks. It's like 5.5 hours, and it really. There's not a lot to look at. It's just like miles and miles of straight road. You know, you see the little dots, you know, far in the distance. That kind of driving. But as long as there's not obstructions, I don't need to look at things. I just don't want to have to get. I don't want to get stuck places. I don't have a lot of patience.
Well, I don't mind. I've got my audiobook on. If I'm in the car on my own, I prefer because I can listen to my audiobook and they ding me. But if somebody's in the car, I never put my audiobook on. I don't even like the radio on, so it's usually silent. And that's why I like driving.
I found last month I think I have a limit for how far I want to drive in one day on my own. Even listening to audiobooks. 7 hours is over that limit.
That's a long time by yourself.
It's a long time, especially when you take a long turn and you're driving around narrow roads in North Wales, which aren't actually even really one vehicle wide. And you're going down mountains and up mountains.
I have driven around North Wales, and it was actually my first time driving in the UK as well, so that was fun.
Yeah,
but we survived.
I've done that in North. I've done that in Wales, North and South Wales, and I did it in the Borders, which was fun. going to see Hadrian's Wall and you're driving along and it's just bushes, car width, and there's lights coming towards you. No way
Yeah, the
to
fun
stop.
thing was two Americans in a car in North Wales, and you're on a little narrow road, and a local bus doing like 50 miles an hour decides to pass you, or like coming towards you to pass you, you know, and you're like, it was just like white knuckle time.
I could never drive in the UK. I'm still just
actually
the thought of trying to shift with my left hand. I'm very right-handed.
well, when I came back,
it just wouldn't work.
I drove for 2 weeks. That was actually easier than coming back home and then proceeding to bash my arm on my driver's side door every time I went to go for the shifter thing. I was just like shredding my arm because I had memorized UK, you know, being on the other side of the car from the US. I'd memorized that in almost like a survival way. And then when I came back, I couldn't drive.
Well, I think I've only driven on one trip to the States. And the first time I drove any distance, we drove to we were in Florida. We drove to Kennedy.
Kennedy Space Center.
Yeah.
Cool.
It was in April, so it wasn't too hot. But has anybody seen the film The Final Countdown? No, not The Final Countdown, The Philadelphia Experiment.
Yes.
I think a long time ago.
You know the storm that happens when they go through time in that?
Yes.
I was driving through one of those going across the Everglades towards that.
And he's gone again.
And he just got sucked into it again.
Exactly. I was driving, so the first time I'd driven any real distance was to Kennedy, and the weather was like that. My mum and dad had been to Florida before, and it does come in sometimes, but yeah.
Oh, 3 o'clock?
That was not a fun drive.
The best drive I've ever done, it wasn't me driving, I was on a bus run when I must have been about 17, 18, going to Italy and driving over the Alps, where you're driving and you look out the thing and it's a sheer drop, and every 50 yards you see a car. And you're driving, and the bus driver's driving away going, yes, we're just along here. Yeah, see, if you look down there, doing that, and you're sitting there in the bus going, ah! That's fun. And I think because the roads are so narrow, they're so high up, there's the edge. And some of the edges didn't even have a barrier.
Oh, God.
Oh.
And basically, you're sitting there and he's driving. He's going, if you look out there, you can see the cars down there. Going, yeah, we can look at the cars. Could you look at the road, please? He's going, see that one there? You passed me last week. And that was a scary one. And you're like, oh, my God. Please, everybody at that side of the bus, stay at that side of the bus.
It's like, what was that movie? You guys, there was that the Michael Caine movie,
The Italian Job.
Yeah, the cliffhanger ending.
Yes, the Italian Job. Yes,
that's the Italian Job, the original. Yeah, but yeah, that I've driven down the roads like that, and I was sitting there going, "Have we passed it yet?" It's the same drive when you're driving down the road and you see cars passing both sides, and you're sitting there thinking, "We're certainly not in England anymore." Driving down the road, there's cars passing you on both sides. You're sitting there thinking, I don't think I would ever want to drive in France.
No.
Driving in France is an experience.
Yeah, it's an experience I was glad somebody else was doing.
Yeah, exactly.
But one of my friends goes to France. He drives through France all the time. He basically just drives over and he loves it.
My reenactment group does almost every year do it. They go to because we actually do a show roughly on the appropriate day at Cressy. So of course they drive when they go over there. And the biggest problem I'd have with going to France would be it's full of French people.
You would think France would be full of French people, you know.
That is the thing.
We spent 100 years trying to get rid of them. They're still flipping there.
Yeah. Listen, what we need to do is, I know somebody needs to be shooting soon, so
Pick of the week.
somebody's got birthday stuff, and when they say times that I have no idea what they're talking about. Like, for instance, it's 9:45 here, so when they're saying 3 o'clock,
Sorry.
yeah. So who's got pick of the week?
I've got a pick of the week.
Right.
Hey.
Before I turn on the camera, I just want to remind everybody that over the years I've told people that my pronouns are your and majesty. So today, I'm reminding you all of that.
Ooh.
Oh, here.
Even though I did watch the coronation in my nightgown while I was drinking my tea and all that.
Very nice. Very nice. Love
It
it.
works.
Well, actually, the story about the crown is pretty funny. We, my mom and I were cleaning out more of my dad's stuff. I mean, he's been gone 18, 19 months at this point, and we're still finding things to get rid of because one of the signs of dementia is hoarding. And he's got so much junk that we're still going through and finding things. And I found this, and I thought this would be the perfect day to wear it.
Well, that was fortuitous. Yes.
Wasn't it? I thought so. And I'm trying to do my Queen Mary impersonation here with all the pearls, but you know, this is all I had on me.
So, does that mean we all need to get dressed up?
Good one, PJ. Good one. Good one.
Barm.
So, what I hadn't planned on going to the charity shop today, but I had something in the car that I've been meaning to drop off there for a couple of weeks now, so I finally did. And I said, you know, while I'm here, I think I'll go inside and see if they have any DVDs or Blu-rays. Well, they did. And when I saw these, I just quickly checked on IMDb to make sure that there were indeed only 2 seasons, because that meant I didn't have to go out and buy a 3rd season. So I found both seasons 1 and 2 of Rome.
Oh, excellent.
That is an absolutely fantastic series.
Yes,
I
that's
love
one of my favorites.
Yeah, it is one of mine as well. It's the fact that they cut some of the stuff down and it is still so good.
And now you can read it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
nice.
Absolutely
Very
amazing.
nice.
Yeah, and I checked all the discs are there. So in season 1, we've got, excuse me, it's kind of unwieldy here. Very unwieldy here. We've got all this.
Very
Nice
nice.
display.
Yes.
Very
that-
nice.
I like a good display.
Yeah, that is
Sweet.
one of the best
And
TV
Wendy,
shows out
It
there.
stars Kieran Hines as Julius Caesar.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yes.
I need to watch it.
Yeah.
It's
I thought
got,
it
it's got McKidd, isn't it? It's Thing McKidd and
Yeah, Kevin McKidd as Lucius Varenus and Ray
Julio.
Stevenson.
Indira,
Titus
Indira
Bullock.
Varma's in it. She's in Torchwood.
Yeah, it's basically
Thinking of something, but I won't say it.
fantastic
Yeah,
series
so
and
there's
everything.
whole bunches of stuff here.
Yeah, and the extras in that are really good as well.
Oh, good to know.
Uh-huh.
Good to know. So
'Cause
yeah, I
I've
was
got
really
this
pleased with the whole thing for $6.
Wow.
That's great.
That is
One of the
amazing.
best
Well
series
done.
ever produced.
So again, that's why I
Okay.
quickly whipped out the phone to make sure that there were only 2 seasons, because if I had to buy a 3rd and 4th, because of course I'd have to, it would have run
I wish there were.
$1,000.
I wish
Yeah.
there were.
It
Does-
would have been fantastic if there
Does-
was. It
does
was
it-
so good.
Does it end? Does it end at the end of season 2? Is it another one? One of these
I'd
ones?
heard it was canceled after 2, so I don't know what happened.
It ends in a way that you're not like Deadwood, where you're like, what the hell happened? I was very confused at the end of Deadwood. Rome allows a gentle landing at the end.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm
Well,
saying.
that's good to know.
It
Yeah, as long
didn't ruin it. Let's say it didn't ruin it.
I
is
wanted
really
more.
good.
I did want more, but it doesn't. Yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't come
Yeah.
to. It's not a train wreck. Like Deadwood was an absolute train wreck at the end of that series.
Space
It was a
Above
great
and
series.
Beyond.
Terrible.
But
Well,
that
then
is
we can-
definitely, I've got that in myself, and it is a superb.
Well, I didn't have HBO when it came out. I still don't have HBO, and I didn't have any way to surf the 7 Seas at the time because I was in between computers.
Retro Doc. No.
Finally decided I was going to buy it.
No, that's solid.
Oh,
Gary,
God.
Gary, I've not seen the show, Gary. Is it a pizza
Yes,
tower?
Max, I got it for $6. $3.99 per set. Oh, goodness.
Sorry, I grew up on multi-part.
Yeah, and actually, the answer to that Wen is yes.
Thank you, Wen. I needed that.
Several of
I
them.
can't help it. I have a very damaged brain.
No,
Growing up on
it's
Monty
just
Python.
you.
But
Not
that is fascinating.
Karen's lost it now as well.
When we
But
get
yeah,
back
so,
and do a
that-
Wednesday,
that's my
Rome
pick
needs to
of
be on the list.
What was
Rome
that?
is when we get back and start a Wednesday back up again, Rome needs to be on the list. It
All right,
is,
so I got to start watching it, huh?
it is such a great show.
Well, hey, Easter. Too bad we
We
didn't
lost
watch Monty Python's Life of Brian for Easter. That would have been perfect.
True.
Yeah.
We
He's
can do it
not.
next
He's a very naughty boy.
No, that's Holy Grail, which we did watch.
No.
No,
That's like Brian.
that's Life of Brian.
Oh,
yeah.
Very Naughty Boy. You're right. I'm sorry. You're right. That is,
Yeah.
that is
But
my bad. I take it back.
if you do
Anybody
that,
else fancy a little giggle?
the other thing you should do is, if you can find it somewhere, show the not the 9 o'clock news, General Shinnod's Life of Christ sketch,
BritBox has not the 9 o'clock news. I'll have to look for that.
because what they do is it is a response to Monty Python's Life of Brian.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
And the final
Speaking of-
the final line is it sums the whole thing up. It's something along the lines of whatever the story is, it's not going to doesn't have to affect your faith. I can't remember exactly what the line is, but they turn it around and the film
Yeah,
was
because
called
effectively
Against
they're
the-
talking about the great GC John
Yeah.
Cleese.
yeah.
Okay.
There's some really clever lines in there, but
I'll have to look for that.
yeah,
I think it's on YouTube if you do a search for it.
yeah.
Because I know it's on
Well-
BritBox, so I'll have to look for that. But speaking of John Cleese and Monty Python and everything, apparently Sir Michael Palin's wife just died.
Yes,
I
saw
saw
it.
that.
Yeah.
That was so
They've been married for
sad.
almost 60 years.
Oh,
Yeah, that was
And
so
John
sad.
Cleese's tweet about it, he said that one day they were at work writing scripts for the Frost Report when Michael said, I got to leave. I have to go get married.
Yeah, I saw it.
I mean, that is such a
Very
Michael
subtle.
thing
Yeah.
to do.
Yeah. I know, bless him. I saw that. That was so sad.
Yeah. So, Rome, anything else? Yeah. Roman, anything?
I got nothing. Remember, I'm poor now.
Okay, right.
Oh,
Well,
you do it in
I
your house.
only-
That does something.
I've got DVDs. One of these I didn't get in the charity shop, but I'll start off with the ones I did. No toys, all DVDs. I got Journey to the Mysterious Island, The Rock. Never seen this one, but
I've not even heard of it.
Why am I getting Jumanji? Why did I kind of
I
half
know
think that is Jumanji?
or Journey
Same
to
here, Carl.
Yes.
I did the same
Yeah.
thing. I thought it was
I'm getting
Jumanji.
a mix between Jumanji and Journey to the Centre of the Earth.
Is that The Rock?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. That's why. Because I thought because I
Yeah.
like the
Yeah,
Jumanji.
so-
I quite like the Jumanji movies.
Yeah, I like the Jumanji and I like the one. Who was in it? The one it's the Journey to the Centre of the Earth. The one it was in the Mummy movies.
Brendan
Brendan
Fraser.
Fraser. Yeah, that reminded me of that as well, so that's why I picked that up. I picked up Peter Pan without Wendy.
I mean, the real one.
Proper
Yay.
Peter Pan.
Is that
Yeah,
the? Oh, it's an animated. Okay.
Oh, of course, it's an anime.
Well, it's not the one with
No, it's not the one with Dustin Hoffman as Cook.
Is that based on that looks like the original animation, the original Disney.
Yeah.
That's fab.
That's good, Peter Pan. Not the one that
Very
they
nice.
dumped immediately on Disney Plus.
I foresee an
Yeah.
uptake in. I foresee a surge in sales of the one that PJ's got.
Yeah, I think so too. So I picked that up.
No matter what.
Yeah.
That's a great find, PJ.
And the next one is a set, and it is the Best of Barker.
Oh wow!
Oh, fab.
Volume 1,
Sweet.
Volume 2, and Volume 3.
Oh,
So
brilliant.
basically, it's just bits and pieces from all these different shows that he's appeared in. So with the two Ronnies, Porridge.
I always loved the two Ronnies.
Yeah. So basically, it's just there's an interview with him on Wogan. So it is there. A bonus feature is on Wogan. So he was doing his interview, which he didn't do a lot of interviews. So I'm looking forward to those three. They were picked up, charity shop, a full 3 set. I'm quite happy with that. Just means I need to actually check to see if there's any more. So yeah, I mean, you've got the first one. It's got sketches, character sketches, and routines. Second one is same idea, but it's actually more Porridge related, and that one is basically most of the two Ronnie stuff. So I'm looking forward to it. It's actually going to be fun. And the last thing is not charity shop related, and I could not resist it. I bought myself.
Yay! We've got it as well. That's so cool.
And it's
That is a must.
1, 2, and 3, and the Christmas special. It's not got the movie, which I'm okay with. I thought the movie was good, but it sort of took away to the very ending of this.
Is that Toby? What's his name?
It's Toby Jones.
Toby Jones.
Thank you.
Toby Jones.
He was the Team Lord.
Yes, he was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
He's a
So
marvelous
he's
actor.
great in it as well as Lance. It is a fantastic show. It's about metal detectors. And I've just not got this just because I took up metal detecting. I actually enjoyed this well before. And it was just something I was interested in. And I saw it. And it was fairly inexpensive on Amazon, believe it or not. So I could have bought the full set with the extra movie on it. It would have been nearly £40. I got that for 16.
Holy cow, that's really good. Yeah, that's great.
So, and the thing is, it finishes really nice after season 3. The special, the movie they did, left from season 3, and it was a nice story, but it changed the Lance character slightly. It changed the ending, where they had a nice ending with their arch enemies, Simon and Garfunkel.
Yeah. Which you'll never think of the same way again.
You'll never think of them
in the best possible way, though.
You know, the best thing about it, which I never knew until I watched the documentary part about it, the making of. See the two characters they call Simon and Garfunkel because that's how they looked. The guy's called Phil Peters, and the other one's called Peter Lee. So it's Peters and Lee.
Oh my God.
They're Peters and Lee, but they call them Simon and Garfunkel, whereas their name is actually Peters and Lee. And I thought, oh my God, how smart is that? He didn't actually go for the obvious. He just called them one, but slagged them as another. But if you ever see it, and actually, they're on my channel. There's clips on it on my channel at the moment from the Detectorists. I love it. You'll see the one with the Simon and Garfunkel. That is my pick, and this is my watching this week.
Very nice.
Well, man, that is brilliant.
So I'm happy with my collection this time. No toys, but I did have a couple of options to pick up, but I just went.
Well, one day I'm going to actually unbox those figures that I showed you last week, and I'll show them on the show then right now. I don't want to show you the box again. There's not a lot of point to that. Yeah, because Left Eye Ego and I are supposed to be doing a joint unboxing show at some point when my life isn't on fire. And on that note, I am gonna take off. So I wanted to say thank you for having me on. As always, I always very much enjoy it being here. Jim the Viking is still avoiding me. Alex is moonlighting on other shows. I don't even know what the hell's going on anymore. So
That makes all of us.
this week over
You're
on my
not
channel,
alone, my
Thursday
friend.
at
You're not alone.
5 Pacific Standard, I'm planning on doing a show this week. It's probably going to be another loose pop culture show like we did last week. I simply don't have the prep time because everything is on fire. So it's just I can't do it. But I can throw one of those together and have some fun guests and talk for about 2 hours and drink probably more than I should while I'm actually broadcasting. But that's all part of the experience as well. I might find my way back to my own studio if that's the case. So
Unlock the door.
well, thank you.
Thanks, Roman.
It was great seeing you guys.
Take care, Roman, and I will get to watch the last episode of The Mandalorian. I haven't yet.
I'm sorry. What was
I
that,
was going to
Julie?
say I will get around to watching the last episode of The Mandalorian. Just the other 7 episodes were just so.
No, you just take your time. It's there's no rush. So you guys take care. Colin, get internet from say the 1400s, maybe the 1500s. But on that, I'll
Internet's
see you
probably
guys.
better in the 1500s.
It's certainly better than 1356. I will see you guys next week. Take care out there.
Take care, Roman.
Thanks, Roman. Cheers. And then there was 4. But there you go. I must admit, I'm very happy. I've got my detectorists, and there's some good specials on that one.
I am so pleased you got that, PJ. That's great.
So
that
I'm going to watch it again.
That show is so special to us. It's one of our. It is now in one of our. It is one of our absolute favorite shows ever. It is a series. It is so wonderfully done. And as Darren said a little bit earlier in the chat, I think it's one of the last great things that the BBC ever did. It really is wonderful.
Yeah. So it's nothing to do with the fact that I took up metal detecting, and my PJ Me Be Old channel has got 6 videos up now.
Yay!
Almost 7. And I'm going out again. I was meant to go out tomorrow and Monday because we've got a bank holiday, but I'm going to see the wee man tomorrow. So we all his birthday presents. And
I did post a comment at the video that it's hard to hear your voice over the rustling.
Yes, I know, but that's what this week I'm actually taking. What happens is, right, there's the GoPro and it's in the waterproof.
Yeah, we've got that same one. Yeah,
and the mic is here inside. There's no space for the mic, so you have to turn up the gain. And what the problem is, my headphones, although that sits there, my headphones, the wire comes down here
and hits the side. Yeah.
So what I'm going to do on Monday is the headphones are off, and I'm just going to boop, 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 and just everybody will be able to hear me. So that's where the problem is. I can't link a mic to it. So I've had it for a while, so it's an old GoPro. As I said, I got it when I started the channel, so it's minimum 3 years old, and it's never been used except for this. So what I'm going to do is get rid of the mic so it's no constantly, and then I'll just have to speak up when I'm doing it.
It's all a process, isn't it? It's like what do the other channels do? Out of curiosity, the other detectorists, what are they?
Some of them actually have got 2 or 3 cameras set up, believe it or not.
Okay.
Because they basically say, well, we're just here, we'll do this. And then they must have a mic set up there and one set to the side and one on so they can look in the hole as they're doing stuff. And you're sitting there thinking, it's a wee bit more professional than I'm willing to do. Having it going out, boop, boop, and everybody going, what's it doing? Did you get anything? No, but 14 mics and headsets and stuff around me just to actually get, So what and other people do is they basically sometimes, some of them don't even have rigs, and what they'll do is they'll talk into their camera and then if they find something, they come out and say, "I found this," and it's a thing, and that's it. They just show the finds. Whereas
Yeah.
considering my finds are almost non-existent.
Yeah, we've only
Really?
just started out, so
Yeah. So I found a big spoon bowl, and it's about that size. It is enormous. It's almost like a ladle. Well, not a ladle. A big, what do you call those spoons?
I think I know what you mean.
It's the big enormous spoons you get. They're about that size. I've got two or three in the drawer for like fruit for doing vegetables and stuff, and this one is about that. And I think it's pewter. And one of the first things I found, which is a circular lead domed, it's been reported, and they hand it back and says because there's no strata, they can't identify what it is, but they reckon it is post-medieval, so it could be anywhere from 1445 to 1900s. So they reckon it's either a wake or a game piece. So, but
Okay.
it's fun. It's fun digging it out, hunting. That's the fun thing. That's the main
Check the
thing.
private chat, PJ. Would you, mate? That's all right.
We've resorted to throwing bricks now.
Yeah.
You okay with that?
I'll need
I definitely look this up.
I can do it. Sam, would you like me to? I mean,
Yeah.
Yes, let's give it a go, because after all, Alec got us kicked last week.
well, it's a link, so that we're not playing anything, so it should.
I know, but because they might have the authority to play it, we might not. But it should be fine, especially this late on. If I have to trim it out, I'll trim it out.
Okay. I'm not saying it's literally just put the link so other people can go to the link rather than let's actually watch it.
No, just we'll put it through. Let's.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I've got it here.
Oh, you got it. Okay.
I've got it here. I just need to actually set it up.
Good night, Miranda.
Good night, Miranda. You're just about to miss not the 9 o'clock news. You'll have to watch on the replay.
Yeah.
Or follow the link.
Or from the link.
Good night, Miranda.
Okay.
Take care. See you at the meeting
Good night.
tomorrow, I hope.
Hopefully we'll get the. Why is this actually? See the way I've done this. Maybe actually catch up at the September meetup. Right. This is the one. I should have shared the sound. So let's go, shall we?
Oh, there's no sound.
It's muted.
Oh, interesting. Hold on. That's weird.
At least there's subtitles.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, I see what they're doing.
Well, of course they're worshipped. I think I've actually seen this.
There is actually sound on the video, so it must just be the StreamYard's not playing it for some reason.
Oh, God. I've definitely seen this. Sort of like the church lady, Peter Harrington. I don't know if you guys ever saw the church lady.
On the rabbi, on the
The church lady.
Yeah.
Well, isn't that
Church
special?
lady one? Hold
Oh,
on,
you
let me see
do?
if I can find the
That
church.
was Dana Carvey. Well,
Yep,
isn't
Dana
that
Carvey.
special? Yeah. Gary should know that as well.
Oh, Gary will definitely know it.
You realise I can't hear you because I've got this on loud for you to hear it.
Anybody from North America will know the church lady.
That was such a fun run of
Oh my
SNL.
God. Exactly. Thank you, Retro Doc. You knew that. Of course you knew that.
Yep. Could it be Satan.
Mhm. Well, isn't
I forgot that line.
Oh God, I love that skit so much.
We just watched Wayne's World again,
Oh wow.
and the second one as well, which is actually really, really good. I'm not a fan of sequels, but it is actually really good.
then
We were crying laughing watching it.
You're just an expert as used to be. Oh my God. I actually
That was great.
I own the collected Monty Python, but I don't have it in Blu-ray.
Yes, it is like an Angela Rippon, Peter. Yeah.
I don't know Angela Rippon. Is she British?
She was a newsreader and also dancer, as we discovered on the Two Ronnies.
I didn't see all the Two Ronnies, just some of them.
There's one of the I think it's one of the Christmas specials, and she starts off doing the news reading.
Yeah, is that the one where
breaks
she
into let's play some music and dance, and the desk, because they used to sit at a desk, and the desk splits, and she's wearing a dance and a full-on dancing ball gown, and she's a dancer. And she actually dances with no, it was Morecambe Wise, not the Two One. It was
Morecambe Wise. She did that with Angela Rippon.
Yeah.
Well, you people over on the other side of the pond definitely need to look up the church lady.
Dana Carvey is the church lady. Yeah, they had some really funny skits.
Does she?
Is that the one the father uses?
Shame.
Shame. Is that the one the father does?
No. Her favorite line was, "Is that Satan?"
It was just his body language and his facial expressions.
Oh, you've got to check it out. Hold on, let me see if I can find any good skits.
I don't know if it's going to be safe to play. Just be careful.
There's a bunch on YouTube.
From Saturday Night Live. Yeah.
There's a bunch on.
Well, even if we get the link, we'll put it in the chat, and people can get it in themselves, and I can get a copy of it.
Dana Carvey is perfect. Just the expression on his face.
I know, he was a total genius.
Thank you, Retro Doc. That's exactly it, Gary. You've got to purse your lips like you just swallowed a lemon. That's perfect.
Yeah. And he had that, he used to do it like sort of out the side of his face. Like,
you all have to check out the church lady. I mean, we in North America can be fun.
Occasionally. Come on, Married with Children, still one of my favorites.
Live in the late 70s into the early 80s, and I do mean North America because there were plenty of Canadians, plenty of Americans. Abso-freaking-lutely brilliant. It's where we got Bill Murray from. It's where we got Dan Aykroyd from. It's where we got Gilda Radner from.
Bill Murray. I don't know if Gilda came. I think Gilda came from there as well. John Candy came from Second City TV, and then they went over to SNL.
Where we finally heard of them was from SNL.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Show in the late 70s. Steve Martin was an early host on
SNL. Wild and crazy guy.
Exactly. I mean, really, really, some of the funniest.
Steve Martin, one of his funniest movies was The Jerk.
Pardon?
Yeah.
Steve Martin's one of his favorite, and to me, his funniest movies was The Jerk.
Steve Martin is a brilliant comedian.
He is.
Mm-hmm.
He's actually also an extremely accomplished banjo player.
He certainly is. Yeah, he's the real deal.
Oh yeah, he's very good. He can play bluegrass with the best of them.
Yeah,
another one who used to be able to do stuff like that is Roy Castle. Doctor Who. He was in a lot of Carry On movies, and he was a record breaker because he could play a number of musical instruments, and he was in the record books for it, and he was a singer and dancer as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, so not a lot of people like that nowadays.
Yeah, it's like I didn't realize that Carol Burnett is 90 now. I mean, when she goes, that's another.
Oh my God. I can't believe that. I was just watching the other night. I was having like a Gen X sort of party on YouTube, and I was watching a lot of the old stuff. And I remember my favorite Carol Burnett show, and it's actually technically an outtake. It sounds like that they actually didn't include in the actual show that went out, but it was a second version of the Elephant Story when Eunice and Mama, and they're playing the word game, and Tim Conway was.
He tells everybody up.
Those guys kind of remind you a little bit of Dudley Moore and Peter Cook.
Yeah.
You know how they used to start corpsing? Well, that's what they used to do on the Carol Burnett
they would be sitting eating something and going,
oh my God.
They actually stopped themselves from laughing when the two of them were letting go.
Straight face. Tim Conway would crack Harvey Korman up to the point where he was just losing.
You would cry. You would literally wouldn't be able to see. You'd be laughing so hard because Tim Conway was like the perfect straight man, and he would deliberately do stuff to mess with Harvey Korman, and he would get him going, and it was so funny.
Remember the dentist sketch?
Yeah.
You were talking about Carol Burnett, but Peter's actually talking about Steve Martin, the man with two brains, lonely guy, and the Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid.
Yeah.
Oh,
he is a comic genius.
Well.
Yeah,
He's also married to Victoria Tennant. He's married to an English actress.
Who is?
I think.
Oh, I don't know.
Steve Martin. I think he's married to Victoria Tennant. He's an English actress.
I loved him in LA Story.
I remember that title, but I don't think.
And it's not a broad comedy, but it's funny as hell. There's a scene with Sarah Jessica Parker. He's trying to have an affair with Sarah Jessica Parker. And he puts his hand on her breasts and goes, "They feel funny." And she goes, "That's because they're real." I mean, only in LA. Well, now New York too, but at the time, only in LA would somebody ever say that.
Yep. And I love Steve Martin in the Little Shop of Horrors, the dentist sketch. You remember that one?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, that was so funny, that one.
The psychotic dentist.
Tim Conway as the old man as well. He used to do like the old man, he shuffle along.
Oh God, that was funny. Or when he played the boss, Mr. Tugwell, with Mrs.
Mr. Tudball and Mrs. O'Wiggins. Yeah.
Wiggins. We got. I don't know if you guys ever got Carol Burnett, but if you get a chance,
she was. They were like a bit like the later stuff that we got, like with oh my God, I can't think of her name. The British comedian that came out of The Simpsons. Well, The Simpsons came out of her show, Tracy Ullman.
Tracy Ullman.
And also
Tracy Ullman.
And also Catherine Tate. So it was kind of a sketch show, but it was obviously of its time, from the 70s. And honestly, it was such a brilliant show.
Yeah.
And then
Tracy
can
Ullman
forget
came out of Three of a Kind with Lenny Henry,
right,
and Tracy Ullman. Three of a Kind.
Okay.
My
first exposure to Tracy Ullman was on the Tracy Ullman show that came over to the States, and then The Simpsons sort of spun off out of that.
Yeah. But no, I remember watching Three of a Kind with Tracy and Lenny and David Copperfield before she even moved to the States to make it big, and that was fun. David Copperfield you'd never heard of afterwards, I must admit.
No,
not the magician, the comedian. But Lenny Henry obviously went on, and Tracy Ullman obviously went on. But
I know Tracy Ullman. I've seen her do Queen Camilla.
I've not seen her for years. I must admit.
She does a very good job as well at the time, the Duchess of Cornwall. But she also did a sketch about wokeness, which is hilarious. She's doing a support group for people who are too woke.
I've seen that one.
It's very funny.
I have seen that one. I have seen her more recently because when you said that one, I realised I thought I hadn't seen her for years,
Wow.
but I have seen that one. But I wish Peter would actually mention all the good, great Steve Martin movies. I'm actually thinking I'll need to actually start digging them all out again because I've got all of them on my shelves.
It's interesting.
Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, come on. There's another bloody great one as well.
You know where Steve Martin was born?
When?
Where?
Where?
Little town in Texas.
Yeah, right. I knew it.
Waco.
Waco.
Waco. Yeah.
Oh, Waco.
Apparently he was born in
Holy
Waco.
cow. The infamous Waco.
Yeah.
Holy mackerel.
Yeah, I remember.
That's wild.
Just Brunetta. I remember Tracy Ullman had a song. I do remember that.
I can't remember.
I can't remember that. Yeah.
I remember the Tracy Ullman song.
Oh. He's actually divorced from Victoria Tennant.
Yeah, they don't know. That's the one I remember. They don't know.
Oh,
They don't
Justin,
know about us.
Charles Grodin and oh my God, Robert De Niro and Charles Grodin
Oh, Midnight Run.
is one of my all-time favorite films. Those two were so perfectly. They were like the odd couple, but with something about Charles Grodin's delivery, you could see it was so easy to get under the skin of the character in that movie. That's a brilliant movie. And one of my other favorite actors, Yaphet Kotto, is in that, who was in the original Alien.
Priceless.
Yeah.
It was the also the villain in the best James Bond movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Who did?
Yaphet Kotto.
Oh, okay.
He had a flatulence problem at the end of the movie.
Oh dear.
Okay.
Live and Let Die. It was Live and Let Die. If you remember. Yeah. Bond makes him take a gas pill, and he literally expands and
explodes. Yeah.
Yeah, literally.
Oh, I see it.
Almost like
Yaphet Kotto. I didn't realize he was in that.
Yes, and I will give you two reasons why Live and Let Die is the best James Bond movie.
I liked Live and Let Die.
The first reason is Jane, and the second reason is Seymour.
Yes, I can see she was in that. Yeah. Yeah. And oh my God, Jeffrey Holder. I haven't seen his name in an age. He used to do some adverts in the States, and he was quite famous face and voice. His voice was amazing. Jeffrey Holder, I loved him.
Jeffrey Holder, why do I know that name?
Yeah, if you put his name into YouTube, you'll instantly recognize him. I just loved his voice.
Yes. Oh, he's wonderful.
Yeah.
He's a brilliant actor.
Yeah. But he's one of those actors that has a voice that you could just
an incredible
you could listen to. Yeah.
Read the phone book.
Yeah.
I didn't realize he died. He died in 2014, aged 84 in New York City.
Oh, Jeffrey Holder. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a principal dancer for the Metropolitan Opera Ballet.
Yeah, he was the real deal. Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
I had no idea he was.
I've seen a lot of movies he was in. I remember the one, the villain. Yeah, with the. Oh, where was it? I saw it. Big Chief were doing that figure. So they were.
And he was married to the same woman for years. Good for him.
Yeah.
In best. Huh.
We lost Yaphet Kotto as well in 15th of March 2021, according to this, which I do remember hearing about. That was so sad.
Oh my God, I remember that movie, Man Without a Country. I remember that movie. He was in it. He played a slave. Huh. Who knew? I didn't realize he'd been in so many things. Wow.
Yeah, total blast from the past.
Waiting for Godot. Oh, I saw that. Not the movie, the play.
Right. I'm actually looking at the Big Chief stuff. Where is it?
I have seen it all times and I care too.
Big Chief has actually got another couple of sets. They've got the Anderson collection. I was going to send it to Alec, but
Don't tell Alex.
It's damn expensive.
Don't tell Alex.
Why is this not coming up? Come on.
Or for that matter, don't tell the rabbi because he's a huge Jerry Anderson fan as well.
All right, I will. I'll need to actually just that way. It's not only me; it's actually spending all my money. They've got some great figures in.
Yeah, I thought Kato was from New York also.
Oh yeah. Oh
Did
yeah.
not know that.
Right, look at these figures in the bit. Look at these figures in the.
He's younger than my mom.
I'm going to show these.
Hey, Alex.
Hey, Alex, I'll actually show you in a minute. But that look, Big Chief. That's the figure.
Holy cow, that's trippy.
Isn't it just?
That's really cool.
But they're also doing other James Bond ones.
Oh wow.
I've got
The
a feeling.
price tag. That is amazing, though.
I'm sure I've seen some of this before.
Yeah. They do the set look.
Wow.
Had action figures for James Bond too.
No, that is a nice sculpt. That is really good.
It looks like
They've really captured him, yeah.
300 pounds.
Oh yeah, look at that one.
Oh, the Roger Moore one, yeah.
$1,000.
That's like $1,300.
Yeah.
I'm a Sean Connery girl, but I'm like, I can't believe that Roger Moore one is that expensive. Holy cow.
My God.
Yeah, what's in the box?
That is an amazing figure. I'm not gonna lie.
You get two other figures.
Ah.
1,000 pounds.
You get 3 figures, so you get the Jane Seymour figure as well. And
I don't think that's still like too much money.
So you get those 3 figures, the James Bond.
That's still £300 each.
Well, you look at them, £300. That one there is $1,000 as well for the same reason, because that's 1,200, and you get Odd Job, James Bond, and
Colin Baker.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool, Melvin. You have a Sean Connery autograph. Excellent.
But I like that one as well, Dr. No. It's just cool. But Alec, look at this one. I need to go back.
Gary, I'm the same with you. We're not allowed to use words like Bond girls anymore.
No, it says yeah. That's the
You're saying that James Bond is a dog.
There's the James Bond collection, £90.
Damn. How come?
Oh, you mean the Anderson collection? You said the James Bond collection.
I suppose I was looking at James Bond earlier.
Thunderbirds is American, but it was bigger in the UK than in the US.
It's not American.
Well, yeah, it kind of is.
No, it's not. Jerry Anderson's British. None of it's set in America, but none of it's American.
Okay, no wonder we didn't see it as much.
No, it's not. It was made in America because they wanted to sell it to America.
That's the Anderson collection too. There's also the
I'd never seen it either. Really, not over there.
Yeah,
I just heard Alex Hennick's when you said that.
We did get Davy and Goliath.
So there you go. Look at the.
Oh,
look at
Davy and Goliath! I remember that.
Remember Davy and Goliath?
Davy.
You guys get Davy and Goliath and Gumby.
Oh, do you remember the Eddie Murphy sketch from SNL about Gumby? My name's Gumby, damn it. Remember that? I used to watch Gumby and Pokey. Yeah, that was really good.
And then when Eddie Murphy started making fun of him, I'm Gumby, damn it. I mean, that was
Remember his Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood sketch?
Yes.
That's not bad of Alan Carter. What?
Oh, dear.
You want to see the order on week?
through maybe 1985, 86 was brilliant.
It was gold.
I've
I'm
watched it
finding
for a million years. But the original Saturday Night Live was pee in your pants funny on a regular basis.
That's the order I'm waiting on still. Well, I'm waiting on the Laurel and Hardy ones, but I'm waiting on Captain Scarlet and John Koenig to turn up as well.
Wow.
That's two I've ordered, but I was tempted to order the other stuff. But I'm still waiting for Stan and Ollie.
I need to see that movie.
Yeah, that
You
is
were
a good
telling me
movie.
about John C. O'Reilly.
It's, I mean, that figure. Look, it's processing. Still not got a shipping date. They're writing September.
420 pounds?
Eh? Yes.
Oh my god.
For the two figures.
Oh my god.
It's you
420.
saw you basically.
$530? No, piece of cake.
Aye, well, you saw the one down there, my Ash v the Evil Dead. It's the same figure. They're just there's two of them, so that's why it's double the price. But yeah, can't wait for Stan and Ollie to turn up.
So, do they have any Pierce Brosnan figures?
A Piers Bra, did you say?
Pierce Brosnan figure.
I knew what you said. I know.
I still love him. When did
I don't think so, because I put the James Bond ones in and it didn't come up.
When did I ever tell you I saw him in New York?
Really?
Yes.
Was he just out and about?
So
I
all
was
I can,
walking home. I was unemployed at the time. It was in probably the summer of 03, maybe. And I was walking home from a temp job, and I was heading up Madison Avenue because it was less crowded than Fifth. And there was this really, really nice restaurant that I never could afford to go into, but the doors were all open and looking out on the street. And there he was at a window table facing the street.
Wow.
I'm
Making
New York is good for those types of.
I know. He was making a movie at the time about divorce lawyers with Julianne Moore.
Okay.
There's definitely no Pierce Brosnan in it at all.
I'm guessing then, Julie, I'm trying to work out how to make this delicately. Your favorite, your preferred choice of lady shades would be Remington.
My what? Oh, Remington, very funny. Yes, I own the entire box set of Remington Steel. I own every single episode.
That was fun. I did enjoy that.
Yeah, I remember Remington Steel. Even I watched that
That was
one.
fun.
That's the first I noticed him in.
It was funny because it first came out in the early 80s, and we still only had one television in our house. Actually, no, I think we had two at that point because my father bought a second television, color, just to watch Prince Charles Mary Lady Die.
Wow.
Yeah. But we
That went well.
Our old black and white TV when Remington Steel was on. And my mother loved it too because she also thought he was gorgeous. So that's the only reason I ever got to watch it, because my brother, of course, would never let me watch it just because I thought Pierce Brosnan was hot.
That's a brother, yeah. So
once my mother said we're watching it, then we got
I think in some ways you would say you got the ladies would watch it partly for for Pierce Brosnan, and the guys would watch it for Stephanie Zimmerlist.
Exactly. It was
it's something along the lines of like Sapphire and Steel. There was a couple of reasons that most young guys watched that as well.
I haven't seen Sapphire and Steel. I know Big Finish has done some audio episodes, but I've never seen
I was going to say, I would think actually, I would think for
Joanna Lovely.
Yeah. I would think along the lines of Buck Rogers, where again you'd got two main leads. One was easy on the eye for the guys, and one was easy on the eye for the ladies.
I didn't realize David McCallum was in it.
Yeah.
All right, David McCallum. He played.
It's on Crackle and Tubi. I can probably watch it.
Yeah, Sapphire and Steel, great. But some of the psychological ones, I still remember the one about the end of the war and all the ghosts, because they all died the 11th minute after the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. So the 11-11-11 was meant
Right.
to be the end of the war, and these are ones that died 11 minutes after that. And they
Oh,
were
what a shame.
on this, and it was freaky.
Yeah.
But that's why I loved Sapphire. I still got the video. I still got the video down there somewhere.
David McCallum and I have 6 degrees of separation because he married a woman from my hometown, and he would come back with her and their children to go to midnight mass on Christmas. So we used to see him at church.
I'm trying to think. Didn't he marry twice?
Oh, I don't know.
I think it was David McCallum who was married to both his wives. Have been actresses, and at least one of them was married to.
He was married to Jill Ireland from 1957 to 1967, and then he married a woman named Catherine Carpenter in 1967, and I don't think she's an actress. Oh, apparently she was briefly. No, maybe.
No, maybe I'm thinking of unless it was.
No, I don't think a former actress and model turned interior designer. Well, anyway, she grew up in my hometown, and her parents still lived there, so I used to see him at Christmas every year.
Unless because Jill Ireland went through married to Charles Bronson, didn't she?
They weren't married, right? He was married. She was married to Charles Bronson for years.
Yeah. I think if I remember correctly, the Big Finish ones, they start off with David Warner and the lady's name's just gone out of my head. And then I think Joanna Lumley and David McCallum came in later on. I'm not sure.
Okay. I don't know.
I think because I've got some of them.
My heart for David McCallum, besides the fact he played Ilya Kuryakin.
Yeah, that one, the retro and Peter are talking about. I remember that one. That one freaked me out. I stopped allowing my picture to be taken because of that episode. Yeah. I basically would not let anybody take my picture.
There were 6 stories, 12 stories.
Like it was really good. So there were but David McCallum, the best one I ever heard, which was a David McCallum one, was NCIS.
What did Ducky look like when he was younger?
Kate said exactly. Kate said to Gibbs, "What did Ducky look like when he was younger?" And he goes, "Ilya Kuryakin."
Yeah.
And I thought, yes. And I thought, very well done. They basically played it. The TV show appears in your life, and he just looks like the character. I thought, well done. They basically didn't actually go down the route.
Series. 6 seasons of Sapphire and Steel. So is that it then?
Yep.
Okay.
What a brilliant series that was.
It was.
I finally got to see it. Darren showed it to me here quite a few years back now and loved it.
I've heard of it because, I see them advertise it over at Big Finish, but I've never seen it.
Yeah, it was so cool. Guys, I'm going to have to bounce because Kelly or Julie, I don't know how you're still going. You are a machine.
It's 5:38 here, and I'm definitely fading.
Yeah,
you've got to be like Al Pacino in.
Going to be winding up anyway.
Okay, afternoon.
Wayne, thank you again for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Thanks again, everybody.
Hopefully catch you tomorrow. What's the movie for tomorrow on Mr. Hyde?
Oh well, it's one of Gary's personal favorites. Actually, it's called Mars Needs Women.
That's right.
It's going to be his new favorite movie.
I don't know why
I'm putting my bets in now.
I don't know why I'm looking forward to it. There's a couple of reasons, but I can't think.
I think there's more than a couple.
Yeah, so
I'm myopic. I can only see one at a time.
Yeah, well, last week's movie.
Cheers, Alex. Thank you. You too.
Was really bad.
Yeah.
Oh
at
yeah,
least
well,
tomorrow-
I love Vincent
the
Price, so he
good
could read the
thing is-
phone book, and I'd be happy.
Oh, agreed. But the movie itself was pretty tedious.
Yeah.
Well,
the
wait
last
till
couple of
wait till tomorrow.
Well, the last couple of weeks, 2 weeks ago, my internet was flaky and I never got to. I started
Right.
watching and then it again. Last week I was busy. Tomorrow, however, tomorrow night I'm in the house on my toad sitting watching. So I'm going to look forward to it.
Oh, brilliant, brilliant.
Well,
We'll look
actually,
forward to
man,
having you.
can make
Some
it.
of
Thank
them-
you, Peter. Yes, we'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow. So good night, everybody. Thank you for a great Saturday evening. Thanks to everybody in the chat, and we'll catch some of you tomorrow at the B Movie Cinema Show.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, Wendy.
Okay, good night.
Thank you. Bye.
That might be something that I thought was interesting for comparison. What would be the
What?
I know you cut again.
No. So I've commented the Vincent Price version, the Omega Man, and the Will Smith version, because there were 3 versions of
Right.
the Sacred Mountain there.
The
Yeah.
original book was called I Am Legend.
Yeah, I Am
I
Legend.
Am
that's it, yeah,
Legend,
I forgot
the
the book.
Amiga Man,
which book?
and
I Am
Last Man
was
on
the
Earth.
first one not called I Am Legend? It was just called Legend or something like that.
I thought his movie was called I Am Legend.
Yeah, the Will Smith one was I Am Legend,
Yeah.
but then there was an Amiga Man, but was the first one not just called something like Legend? It was called.
What's it called? The Last Man on Earth.
Was it the Last Man
The
on Earth?
first one was Last Man on Earth, the one that we just saw last weekend.
Last Man on Earth. I thought it was
Yeah,
actually
I
called
thought-
Legend. I don't know why. I thought it was the I Am Legend was referring back to the original, but wrong
the-
again.
the
No,
book
often
was
I'm right,
called
but
I
I'm
Am
wrong
Legend.
again. But I am looking forward to that tomorrow, so I'll catch it.
Right, Stuart Harrington's right. The book is called I Am Legend.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's what the Will Smith movie was called.
Yeah, maybe that's where I thought that one.
Richard Matheson, I think. I've got a feeling he wrote quite, under other names as well. I think, I'm not sure. It's one of those odd little bits of information that's surfacing from the depths of my mind.
I've not seen that. But Vincent Price was always fun. He was basically
Oh, yeah.
he basically had a personality. Even when he was doing an interview, he just basically dragged you in. It's the same as a lot of them, like Christopher Lee, just dragged you in. He didn't actually try and over the sell him stuff. It's not like Tom Cruise where he's just, woo, look at me, oh, I'm famous, oh, and it's all that. Whereas they sat there, they talked, and you just sort of dragged you in because they had that personality. Just bring you in. They didn't need to go over the top and say, look at me, I'm great because I can do this and I do this and I do this. It's not a case of tell us about your life and they tell you go, I'm scared already.
Didn't they either get or at least sample Vincent Price for the song The Monster Mash?
No. Really?
They
I'm
might
not
have
sure.
because I don't know because
Smash with Bobby Boris Pickett.
Yeah,
I can imagine them trying it.
I've got a feeling I'm hearing his voices doing the talk over for that.
No, that was Thriller.
I was going to say, but you saying that he did Thriller talking about. I think I'm not sure. Maybe it's Thriller I'm thinking of.
Working in the lab late one
night. Yeah, maybe it's Thriller I'm thinking of. Yes.
Yeah. But that's probably all it is. But I must admit, is there anything happening coming up with any chats you are on over the next week or so? I know FFSI is going to be starting soon.
Yeah, we've got.
What are you guys doing on Monday? Oh, when is FFSI?
FFSI.
The next one's
the 29th.
Couple weeks. Yeah, 29th. We're doing Monkey Magic.
Monkey, born on a hill in the mountain top.
Top.
Funkiest monkey that ever rocked. He knew every magic from under the sun. He's the god of everyone who's had some fun. Ooh, magic man. Not that I know it.
Monkey was irrepressible.
Yeah.
Yes.
I used to have it basically. I watched that when I was a kid, and I've watched it multiple times throughout the years, and I'm rewatching it again.
That's it. Yeah,
So,
I'm trying to get. I've managed to get hold of a copy of it yet, but I'm looking for it.
I've had Monkey. I've had it in video, then I had it on DVD. So it's basically after it is the original dubbed version we got when we were kids, which that's why I love it. I have got a copy of the new one, The Legend of the Monkey, and it's not as good. And I've got the second season. I only saw the first season, and I wasn't impressed, so I didn't even care. But I've got the second season now, and I'm going to try watching all of them prior to.
The thing, well, going back to Vincent Price, what got me with Vincent Price is the odd thing is he made a lot of movies that were supposedly based on Edgar Allan Poe. Although the titles were Edgar Allan Poe, the stories were a lot more H.P. Lovecraft. And he had that sort of face, they did Lovecraftian type figures.
Ha ha.
Ha ha ha.
This was my favourite monkey. Pete was mine with the hat, the weirdo hat.
Yeah, he had the I say Vincent Price had that sort of face and a voice that would have definitely but you would like to in a proper Lovecraft.
Vincent Price really had the middle Atlantic accent nailed. He really did. So he could cross over. He could go both ways, as it were.
Yeah.
He was good.
He was a.
Talk about the house that dripped blood that really did.
I know, I remember that. The house that dripped blood. Where?
There was no blood in that house anywhere.
Oh, there was the bit with the wee girl with the doll.
Yeah. Right.
Because there was a wee bit of blood on the doll.
Every single week, the chat is better than most of these movies.
In all fairness, there's been a couple of movies I've enjoyed. See the one about the two dinosaurs?
Yeah.
I actually really, the movie I enjoyed. I thought it was a fun, entertaining movie, and I could happily watch again. Even though the bad CGI and stuff like that, I thought the movie in the whole was a good movie. So not all of them are bad to the point where the chat is better. Did you see the
one about the spiders?
Yes.
And the half-naked girls?
Yes, that one I could understand why it was and they're throwing them out the door and stuff like that. And yeah, I could understand that one, but there has been ones where they've been so corny. The people's comments about it have been a hell of a lot better, but there has been a couple of movies on that I've enjoyed, not just for the sake because of the chat. I've enjoyed that I could watch again separately, and that one about the dinosaurs was fun. Even the one
you were there for
the King Kong ripoff.
Oh, you were there for Ape? Yes, you were there.
I enjoyed Ape. I thought that was a fun movie. It wasn't one you had to take seriously, whereas like dinosaurs, you could take it seriously because apart from the CGI, it was a good story. But Ape was one of those ones. It looked as if it didn't take itself seriously, and that's where the fun part was. That's what I'm saying. Some of them are really good, and some of them are the chat makes them really good. But yeah,
the chat is. I mean, it's our own little version of Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Yeah, definitely. I think so. I'm looking forward to tomorrow's. I must admit, as I said, my wife's going to be out working. I'm going to be in, sitting in front of the big screen. Not that I'm going to watch the 55-inch monitor for some reason. I don't know why. Instead of my normal monitor.
Oh yeah, the merits of Ape.
I enjoyed Ape. I thought it was a fun movie.
It was fun. It's just not a good movie. It was fun.
But see, I liked it. I thought it was a fun movie because I didn't think they took it serious. it was fun in the way they seemed to do it. They didn't seem to take themselves seriously, and that's what made it more fun.
Right.
Whereas if they had did that and tried to make it a serious monster movie,
Right.
I think it would have been a lot worse. But it looked like they were making it a almost tongue-in-cheek type monster
I'm
movie.
actually embarrassed that the movie I picked was actually a good movie. An actual, really good classic movie, because I picked it before we had descended into the pit of awfulness.
Well, with Christopher Lee
With
being
James
the bad guy in it. When you
The
expect
one
him
I picked was Call Northside 777 with James Stewart and
Oh, you did. That's right. I
Yeah.
remember that one. I managed to catch the end of that one.
it's a brilliant movie, but
Mhm.
you know, we don't need brilliant movies in the B movie cinema show. We need
But good movies are always fun to actually have, because sometimes you need. It's like watching something that's too serious. Occasionally, you need.
Well, that's it. You know, the chat was not fun because people actually liked the movie.
Aye, they were too busy watching the movie, instead of flagging it. And
It
yeah,
was fun. We had a good time. I mean, the movie's fantastic. It's just that I should have picked a crappy one, but you know, what are you going to do?
yeah, it's the same idea. See, that's why I like the old classic Godzilla movies.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've seen people saying,
With
but they're ridiculous. Look at the way the Godzilla
Oh, yeah,
sometimes
it was
does that, or it's like, and I just because they know what they're making. They're not making a serious monster movie. They're making a movie. A guy in a suit, the buildings that he's crunching over. They're having fun with it, and they're not taking it too seriously. They take it very seriously, as in nobody's allowed to even touch anything, even if it's a movie that's over 50, nearly 60 years old. I've been, one of the ones that I get hit with is I only did a 40-second clip, and it was the first time you saw Godzilla in the movie, and he comes over and he just goes, 40 seconds, and I got a copyright strike for it, and it was a 1955 movie, and I got a copyright strike because the Japanese owners of the franchise are they'll literally come down on anything. But I am aware of that now. Hence the reason why Alec got me hit last week, because the monkey, same reason.
Yeah.
He needs to be very careful with
going to redo the start for that for the stream.
Yeah. So, but the thing is, you need to be aware of it, and as long as once you become aware of it, you know you need to be very careful with it. Hence the reason why, although I love Godzilla, there's no Godzilla stuff on my channel, because once hit, I never even tried anymore. Whereas I've got bits and clips from the 1933 King Kong. I could put the whole movie up, but I just wanted to do clips of it. I've got the 1925 Wizard of Oz in its entirety with Oliver Hardy as the woodcutter.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I managed to get a hold of that, and I've uploaded that in its entirety, the Wizard of Oz, and that is a weird one, because it's not your we're off to see the Wizard of Oz. It is definitely not. It's a dark one. So it is. So with Oliver Hardy as the woodcutter, not the Tin Man, the woodcutter.
Right. Well, that's what he is in the book.
Yeah. So it's a lot darker. So it is, even though it's a lot earlier, and it's obviously silent.
Right. Well, I would imagine silent.
Yeah. 1925. I've got it on my channel, so if you want to watch it, it's there. So I'm actually, the next set of stuff I'm putting up, I'm hoping to put a classic Superman on, some odds and ends as well, after the Detectorist is finished. So at the end of the month, I should go back to some of the old classic TV shows that I've managed to get a hold of. I'm going to upload them. So that's what my aim is, to try and get more old stuff on the channel. I still do the I wouldn't say old, but some of the maybe 70s, 80s, I still try to do that, because I still enjoy them. So there's bits and pieces I do for that. But on the whole, I'm trying to actually gear it towards, but I'm aiming for that 1,000 subs 3 years, and you notice how every time I do that, my whole camera moves. You see me? That's me just banging the table. My camera just sits there, and every time I bang the table, it just moves a wee bit. Honest, that's what it is. However, I'm trying to get to 1,000 subs, just for the simple fact is, so I've got them. I'm at 700 and it was 711. So let's see, 713 up to. So it is. But
was it someone? You saying that? I think someone saying on that term. Joe Biden wants to call 7-11-18. I think 7-11 should be called 18 or something. Because the 7-11. No, I know. You said that because someone was saying some things. Because we're talking on about Biden. I saw some earlier on today. Someone was saying about he's when he said his one of the best bits for him of the White House press conference was when he got to speak to Presidents Reagan and Kennedy or something.
mm-hmm.
No, you're saying something that just sparked that weird memory.
Yeah. I'm not saying that I'm a son of the desert, but I'm a son of the desert, and I've got the collection. Apart from 1 or 2 movies, I've still got. I don't want to go and buy them. I like The Hunt. But I can't remember any movie where they become werewolves in the wood. I can't remember any movie like that. All of Abbott and Costello did the Wolfman and all that, but Stan and Ollie have done ghost ones, but not. I can't remember any with the where they turn into werewolf. Yep, I'm getting there slowly, 1 step at a time. 1 step forward, 17 step back. 1 step forward, 17 step back. So, but he obviously likes that cheese dream. But we're going to finish up in the next couple of minutes. So, is there anything you are coming up that you are be watching, you'll be doing, viewing, apart from tomorrow, Mr. Hyde?
Got 2
Yeah,
loads.
Hyde and Anthology movies tomorrow.
Last 2 episodes of Sister Boniface to watch.
I have finished all of Sister Boniface.
I've not watched it yet. I've got it on my watch list, but as I said, I've got the Detectorist, I've got Monkey to watch. So
I know Richard Duck was telling me that he hasn't watched Sister Boniface yet because he's still working on Father Brown.
Oh, right. I haven't. I'm going to try. I'm thinking of maybe trying to rewatch and catching up on Father Brown as well. But apparently that's still going.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Looked it up.
But I did watch all of Sister Boniface because there's only 2
Did
seasons.
make a guest appearance in one of the episodes of Sister Boniface.
Which was
Mark Williams. It's Williams.
Yeah.
It's doing.
Mark Williams appears in 1 episode of Sister Boniface in series 1.
Yeah.
So I need to actually continue. I enjoyed.
I'm still fortunately most of the time managing not to shut too loudly at the screen at the modern messaging thrown into
so much
Boniface.
Yeah, I know when to do that. I just when I watch it, I just sitting there thinking, idiots, and that's all. I think every time I see it, it's not a case of this person's a good writer. All I think is this person's a moron. So I just every time they put something on the screen like that, I just think they're morons. So it doesn't make me actually think anything other than they're morons.
Yeah.
So,
well, I think I said last time there was one that stuck out on me. I mean, Roman was saying about the one arm. I must admit, I didn't notice that until quite late in the episode. But they had a few of those.
Guy with short arms.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one that got me because I thought, okay, now I know exactly what happened to that that actor.
Right. And it happened to him.
I know exactly.
In the 1960s, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. What happened to him happened only because he was born roughly the same time I was.
Right, exactly. And in the show, he has to have been born in the 1940s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
no more of that because he must be born in the 60s. And if he's set in the 60s, he would have been in his 60s.
Well, that's what I'm saying. In the
So
show,
he must have been born in the 1900s, 1910s.
Yeah, I
from
know.
the context of
I
the
just
TV
got to say to Roman that my wife makes a killer lasagna, so she does. I used to hate lasagna.
I love lasagna.
I used to, because I grew up, didn't like lasagna. I just didn't like. Everybody says, but it's passing.
You
It's the same.
don't like lasagna.
It's not. They're all the different. Until until I was at a family thing, and they said they make lasagna, and I says I don't like it. She says that's all we've got, and I says okay, I'll have a bit. And she says, how was that? And I says it was the nicest lasagna I've ever tasted. The next time she was over at our house, I'm sitting eating lasagna. She says, I thought you didn't like it. I says, until I touched yours, I couldn't eat it. And now I eat lasagna, and my wife makes a killer lasagna because of that. So I'm saying my wife made a lasagna before she let him out. Isn't a hard one to understand because she makes a killer one. So
yeah, I have not had lasagna in a long time. There's actually a new place opening up, not prohibitively far from me. It is a new Italian deli where the owners come from Arthur Avenue in the Bronx in New York, which is known as the other, quote unquote, Little Italy. So I'm very, very much looking forward to it.
yeah,
We'll have pizza, food, and pastries, and good cannoli.
I like a nice bit of garlic bread with my lasagna. So I do.
I love garlic bread.
Yeah, so I do.
There's a place I go to when I get.
I've got Keith Moore's Father Brown as well as the newer one.
The old Father Brown, yeah, the one that takes place in the 20s.
Kenneth Moore, I've got that one, and it's fun to see some people in it, and you're sitting there thinking, "Oh, I didn't know he was in that." Yeah, I've got that. I've got that one still. So
there is a it was a TV series a few years back. Gosh, probably 15, 20 years ago now. No, more than that, 90s, called North and South, based on the Elizabeth Gaskell novel with Richard Armitage and oh God, what's his name? Tim Pigott Smith.
The weird thing being that the American on the panel here remembers the.
I don't watch
here, and the Englishman here remembers the American North and South.
I don't watch a lot of American TV.
I remember
both historical ones as well.
I remember North and South. I've actually got the DVD somewhere, but I remember when it was on. My mum loved it.
You have to remember, I was in graduate school for most of the 80s, most in the early 90s, and then I worked nights for a few years in the early 90s and had 2 jobs. So I missed most pop culture in the 80s and 90s.
So I've got that one as well. Bless you, Father.
I don't know it.
That is a great one. I loaned it to my father-in-law, who's a minister, and he enjoyed it. But
is it Catholic?
He plays a priest, yes.
Okay.
The old priest, he liked his alcohol, his wee beer and stuff like that, and he had a young priest there, and they had the old the old assistant, the old cook and live-in housekeeper, and they were like an old married couple. It was fun, and the old neighbour next door who used to always fight with because his dog and the two of them used to slag each other to death. It is a fun show. I've got that as well in my collection. Bless you, Father. So there you go. See all these all the TV shows. I'm not the only one that remembers them. Yay!
There's another one I picked up. I've been watching episode or so at a time. It's a series called Murder City with Chris Marshall.
I've not seen that one.
It's a much younger Chris Marshall. So it's before he did Death in Paradise, obviously. But I just saw that on his time. I thought, oh, that looks interesting. It's a London-based one.
Gave us My Family.
Yeah,
with Chris Marshall. Your Murder City. Oh, the Roku channel has it, but nobody else is tuning
with Amanda Donohoe.
Yep, that's what. I've also just started watching. Oh God, what's his name? Endeavor, the original show. Thank you. I just started watching. I saw episode 1, and it's funny because I saw episode 1 of Frost. I mean, not Frost, Morse. And
I've got Frost. I've got the whole season, the box set of Frost.
I've also seen a couple episodes of Endeavor, and they don't feel like the same character.
Are you surprised? They've tried to actually write it so a different actor playing the iconic role, saying it's earlier because obviously John Thaw had
It
passed.
doesn't seem like 20 years. It's only 20 years difference, because Morse Take starts in the late 80s and Endeavor ends in the early 70s. And that's not even 20 years. And he can't possibly have gotten that old in 15 years.
That's why these people actually try and write prequels and stuff like that. They've got zero idea. They've got the actor and they've got the idea, but the two of them don't always match up. As if suddenly, don't worry. People will not notice he's aged 40 years and the 10 years between. Don't worry about it. People have forgotten the old one. It's the new one they'll remember. No, they just forget the new one and remember the old one because the old one was the classic one.
I remember watching Morse. I watched Lewis, but I never watched Endeavour. And I don't think they did they didn't do a spin-off with
Hathaway? Not Hathaway. Lawrence Fox.
Lawrence Fox, thank you, yeah.
Lawrence Fox had been blacklisted, so
I know that's probably why. Because I like I watch his YouTube. He's got a YouTube channel which I watch.
Yeah. He's also been subbing on. He subs on GP News periodically.
Yeah, I like him. I think he's a very well spoken.
Apparently, Billy
thoughtful person. He's able to actually
trouble getting access to the kids.
Yeah. Yeah, it's. But no, I think I've read a couple of the Morse books as well. I've not read many of them. Because I remember you talked about it on Wendy's Discord, haven't you? I think it's Wendy's Discord. There's so many of them these days. I think it's
I was talking about the show over at Wendy's Discord, but I haven't seen them. I read the books.
No, I think I've read one or two of the books, well, not many more of them.
And I also haven't read the book Midsummer Murders is based on.
I've not read any of the books about any of those at all.
No. I've read three of the
I like detective shows, but I don't like detective books.
I see what you're saying.
I've never been interested in detective books or anything like that, but I do enjoy a detective show.
Well, we're trying to get Bluebonnet Hoovian, aka Galactic Gals, to watch Death in Paradise because she's
definitely. Right, we're going to wind up.
Okay.
I need to bounce. So So before I start bouncing,
I had both read and watched all the Brother Cadfael.
Cadfael, I remember. I prefer Catweasel and Cadfael. But that was a different story. Anyway,
you mean the first Doctor to the Master? You mean the alternate first Doctor to the Master?
Yes.
Jeffrey Bowden would have made an excellent first Doctor.
He would have. But then again, we got William. And if they want to actually do another one,
Derek Jacobi was a wonderful master.
Mm.
I know we only saw him on part of one episode, but he was.
Well, as I said to Gary in on Galactic Gals earlier on, absolutely correct. There is the master was Roger Delgado, but you have to remember you are not alone.
What was that?
You have to remember you are not alone.
Right, and then let's face it, he died, so we can't have him anymore.
Yeah.
We got to move. We got to move on.
Yeah. But
I think
so. Tomorrow, everybody remember Mr. Hyde's movie
cinema show.
Yes, and it is
Sure.
Mars Needs Women.
Mars Needs Women.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we know, Gary, you need women too, but whatever.
Well, question is, in this day and age,
I could actually, because you're mentioning Gary, I could actually pop something on the screen. He's not necessarily talking about Gary, but
question is though, these days, can they actually define can the Martians define what a woman is?
Good point. Very good point. Nobody else seems to be able to.
No. Nobody out there has got the guts to. That's the
Yeah.
difference.
I do.
I do as well.
Yeah.
I've got 3 older sisters, my mum, my aunts, my grands, and my daughters, and every single one of them is a female, an adult, biological human female.
I don't
The
even
problem is,
brain.
do you know the problem is? It's the same across the board everywhere. You look at Scotland, people see the activists, that small minority, they're the loud ones. Everybody thinks Scots are like that. You see the activists, the trans activists, everybody thinks trans people are like that.
And they're not.
They're not. And that's the thing. It's the problem is in Scotland, for us to get normality back, the majority have to turn around to that majority to say, shut the hell up, you're talking crap. And the problem is the majority just want to go, listen, I don't really care. So I don't get involved in it, but they really care and they nip. And it's the same idea with any activists. People in the group need to be the ones to turn around and go, shut up. The problem is most people in the group just want to live their life and don't want to get involved in it. And I can understand that. And the problem is, like every time I see one of these activists, I just think terrorists, scum, fascists. They don't, anything they say actually does the complete opposite. But the problem is, they're designed to divide everybody, even if it's divide everybody against them, because that way people are divided. You look at the thing about the guy in the States, he got choked and died.
Yeah.
But it was 2 people trying to, a white guy and a black guy were restraining him. But because the white guy was the one that had him in the chokehold, everybody's concentrating on him and saying it's another George Floyd. Yeah, this guy was threatening people. And he got held down, and the police looked at him. The thing he says, no, he did nothing wrong, and they're still waiting to see why he died, because he could have had a heart attack because he was on drugs. And people are actually saying this guy is, and you're sitting there thinking, these people are nuts. Do you know the thing is, I want to be on a jury when that person's up. In 5 minutes, I would turn around and say, he's innocent, and doesn't matter what anything else you say.
Unfortunately, the crazies are louder.
Yes, and that's the problem. The crazies are louder, and it's because most people just want to go, let me live my life. You live yours the way you want to. I'll live mine the way I want to. As long as you don't tell me what to think, and I'll not tell you what to think, everything's good. But they want to tell me what to think, and I just go.
And I've said for years to people, I don't care what's between your legs. All I care is what's between your ears.
But it is. Honestly, we've got some really great people in the chat. Do we actually care anything about looks or sexuality or anything? No, because we've got one thing in common. We all like talking about good and bad movies and TV shows.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's all we care about. And nothing else didn't matter about anything else.
Right.
And that's the thing. And we have got some great people in, and hopefully September I'm going to meet a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm so looking forward. I've already booked my time off holiday for the week.
Fantastic.
There is actually a detector, a metal detecting dig, a charity dig at the same time. And I'm going, nope. I'm going, nope, because it's either that or the meetup. And it's the meetup I want to go to. So I had a choice of the metal detecting thing or the meetup. And I've taken the time off for the meetup because I want to meet the people.
Fantastic.
And that's what I'm aiming for. And then next year, Vegas. Here I come.
Vegas.
Me and my wife have decided we're actually managed to organise it so that both of us can go.
Are we going to have a live stream from Vegas?
I would hope so, yes.
Cool.
Because Roman will be there. I'll be there. Father may be there. There'll be a few others there as well.
Speaking of the father, he's not a fan of Sister Boniface, but I can see why.
Yes, I heard that, and I can see that. Yes, I can
But
see.
it's the
why.
same idea. The fact, I mean, I made the joke. I went on when we were on, and I was sitting going, "Doo, doo, 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 doo," and I had my hat on and stuff like that. And he goes, "I don't like that movie because," and I understand why. The thing is, it's all about exorcism.
Right.
And I could understand why. It's the same idea when I'm watching certain movies about Scotland or Glasgow or stuff like that, and I'm sitting there going, "Oh." You see all these people stoating about going, "Okay," and with the kilts and all that, and you're sitting there thinking,
Yeah.
people still think that.
You just
Nowadays?
you just have to find a historian and mention the word Braveheart and see them.
Yeah. See,
Any of them.
see, the thing is, I can understand Braveheart to an extent. I am aware completely about the inaccuracies and stuff like that. However, the one thing people seem to forget is it wasn't meant, it was based on a historical, and I keep on telling people, see, as soon as they say it's based on, then take it with a pinch of salt. All it is just taking certain bits.
Pinch.
But the thing about it, I must admit, was at the time the movie captured the feeling of the people of Scotland.
And I understand that more since you've explained since I've talked to you about it. Like that, obviously being English, I hadn't realised exactly. You know, I understand that they captured that, and I understand why the SNP quote it all the time.
Yeah. See, and the problem is, it is one of those things. It's like, see, growing up, right? Everybody used to laugh because my dad's youngest sister is married to an Englishman, Keith. Great guy, fun. But he always got slagged to death because he was the only Englishman in the whole family. And my dad was the oldest of 7. So you can imagine the size of our family. And he always gets slagged, but he always took it and he always gave back. However, and it's when we were talking, and it's in my dad, and I remember Keith saying that what you say and what you do are two different things. And my dad said, "What do you mean?" He says, "Well, you keep on going on about how you hate the English, but you always treat me very nicely." He says, "Anytime my family's up, you take them." And my dad says, "You're wrong. We don't hate the English. We hate England." They're two different things. Because England is a country, it is made up of the history. Scotland's a country made up of the history. And Scotland and England have got bad history. So it's the Scotland that hates England, not the English. The English people are different from England because England is everything, the government, the history, the law. You could dislike a place, but still love the people.
Yeah.
And I thought, yeah, I could see that. And that's the way I've always looked at it. Yeah, I might say I hate England. Doesn't mean I hate the English, which it doesn't mean anything because I love England. I love going on holidays down there. The Lake District. Oh, see, the best part of England, and it's because it's so near Scotland, it looks beautiful. But I do love. I love going down to England. Couple of my friends are English, and basically we have a good laugh. Look how much I laugh we have, me, Alec, and Colin, and yeah, I mean Darren, Wendy. I mean Scotland, Wales, and even a couple of guys up in Scotland. And that's the thing. You can actually, as my dad said, it's he disliked England, but he loved English. Because if my dad had a choice, a Scottish breakfast or an English breakfast, he would always go for the English breakfast because he loved black pudding and he loved fried tomatoes. Whereas I'm going, I like Scottish because I don't like those, and I like this. I like a good square sausage. I know it's Kieran square sausage now. I prefer a Lynx, but I prefer this and I prefer that. And whereas my dad goes, nah. That's just a second class breakfast.
Sorry.
I used to like long sausage meat. I still do. I just don't get it anymore.
Yeah, I'm no keen on a square sausage. I prefer a Lynx.
Mm.
And just in case anybody's aware, a square sausage is effectively sausage meat packed in a long square. I mean, it's sliced. We used to call them Govan burgers.
Sausage loaf, you might even say.
It's like a sausage loaf, but we used to call them Govan burgers. We still do to an extent.
Yeah.
A Govan burger. Govan is quite a rough part of Glasgow, and a Govan burger is a rolling sausage with brown sauce, and it's a square sausage. So you can imagine a square bit instead of a burger, but it's what a square sausage is like. But I prefer Lynx. It's the same as my granny used to always shout at me because I like my porridge English way rather than Scottish way. I don't like porridge with salt. I like my porridge with sugar. And my granny always used to shout at me, "That's the English way. Granny, you're bloody Italian." Actually, tell a lie. Granny, you're bloody Irish. What are you telling me for? My granny would shout at me because I was eating it the wrong way. And I'm saying, "You're Irish. What difference does it make to you?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but yeah.
There was an episode made.
My wife loves white pudding.
There was an episode of the Tomorrow People, the original, the proper one, where one of the latest was where the young lad goes to boarding school in Scotland. I know, someone not that much later episode because in what broke out in the first series was in it, and they go to boarding school or something. Yeah, they do this the harsh, the cold porridge and the rest of it. And the latest when they go back somewhere else, they don't have to have the porridge with salt. But I remember that. Now you mention it.
Yeah, even the Bruins, the comic, you would see them. They would make the porridge, and then what they would do is they would pour it into a drawer, and then they would just slice it. So it was like lumps of porridge. It's like a biscuit. But the old thing was you would pull out a drawer, put the porridge into it, and then and the joke in the Bruins was, "But Granny, all my toys are in that." So the kids were eating them, and bringing out cars and cranes and stuff like that because they had wiped it all out, ready to pour the porridge in to make the biscuits, and the kids had put all their toys in it. So they poured the porridge in, and everybody gets a lucky dip. A wee car or something. You're cutting again.
I quite like porridge with fruit in it, so like sliced banana.
My wife does, but I don't. I just like sugar on the top, and that's it. Nice. And maybe
I used to do that, but I gave up having sugar a long time ago. But yes,
I even though I'm diabetic, I love my sugar. I can't do without it. So, anyway, we're about 20 minutes past what we said we were going to end. We're going to end there because I need to run now. So I do. So, boys and girls, lads and lassies, thank you for joining us all. We'll see you all tomorrow. Anybody can make it to Mr. Hyde. So, until then, ladies and gents, boys and girls, remember, we're not old. We're classic. BJ Maybe and the gang out.
Night, everybody.